If Lands Could Kill, featuring Knifecity, Ryke, Samhain Crow, and Hot Sauce.
All right, and welcome to another episode of If Lands Could Kill. I'm Knifecity.
Samhain Crow.
Hot to the sauce.
And Peppermint Swirl.
Special guest.
Special guest.
Super special.
He keeps coming back, just like herpes.
Yeah,
you know?
pretty much.
Can't get rid of me.
So special, he wears a helmet.
Yep.
It's just to keep my head shaped right.
Yeah. It's like Invisalign for your head.
Except not invisible and bright yellow.
You gotta let people know.
I thought it was orange. I thought you were fucking the dude from the joke.
Anyways, Hot Sauce, what have you been up to?
Big news. So, the only thing that's really happened is that I found a home to live in and stay in. So I started escrow on a place in San Diego, and it is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath with a 1-car garage attached through the kitchen. I'm so fucking happy because I'm just a big scammer and I have like no job and they should not let me get allegedly scammed them.
I feel like we should mention that this is all made of cardboard boxes.
Yeah, it is. It is. The first rain's going to take it out, but it's okay. Yeah, so the insurance will take care of it and I'll get the next home.
Made of pallets instead of cardboard.
Yeah, pretty much, exactly. So yeah, I found this place. It suits our needs, and fucking stoked. We're gonna have to like podcast in the goddamn garage. Well, okay, the garage is it's a single car, right? But no cars are allowed. I got a motorcycle that's going in there, and I have like tools, and I'm gonna build like a workpark at a 2x4.
So there's little places to park, like right outside.
Yeah,
the garage,
like
right?
the parking on the street is like abundant. There's no problem for all of us. I'm gonna park on the street. My roommates are park on the street, and Kelly, my girlfriend, she will be parking in the parking spot. I'm super nice. Well, besides that, because I have 3 of the 4 fucking bedrooms, or 3 of the 4 rooms, or whatever, in the house to myself. So, so the garage is going to have the shuffleboard table against one wall, the tools and workbench and everything on the other wall, along with bar stools and a mini fridge. And then above the shuffleboard table is going to be a 40-inch flat screen, which I already have. I already have all this, by the way, so... And we're all going to be able to just like sit in there and fucking party. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I have all of this. I got so much money.
I got so much money.
Everything.
Dude,
Yeah.
I keep pumped for him. He's getting a man cave.
And
you guys had a fucking
you guys
man
are going to
cave.
be going in
Oh
there,
my
you
God.
dicks.
You mean we're getting man?
Yeah.
Okay, fucking shuffleboard table's $400. The TV was like, it's probably worth like $50 now. Okay, so settle down. Anyways.
I've been telling my wife the entire time, as soon as we actually get our own place, this and that, like, I made a deal with her. I'm getting a man cave. Like, I already have all kinds of shit planned out for what Padres I'll be putting on the wall, and have a legitimate table in there for Magic playing and other card games and whatever, and board games and all that jazz. So
Exactly.
I can't wait for it. So I'm very jealous you get a man cave, dude.
And besides that, I have another room. I have an office that is also a music room, which many keyboards and drums and guitars and
The
things.
dual man cave.
Dual man cave, just in case one's getting taken up by like some girl doing laundry or something like that. I can go ahead and go into the other one.
Some girl, not even your girl.
Yeah, whatever. We'll hire somebody. They have those like.
Don't you have a live-in butler?
Yeah.
He's a man servant.
Yes. Who is not paid.
Got to dress him up.
Yeah.
Take that as you will.
He gets free living in the back. So that's all good.
Well, so did they back in the day.
Yeah, well,
It's free living.
Following tradition.
Who is they?
Never mind. I was going to make an indentured servants show. Just, you know what? I'm just going to let this boat sail.
We were
Yeah, pretty
keeping
much.
it subtle. We were trying to keep it subtle.
Let the boat sail? Come on. Come on, guys.
Jesus.
I'm a stop.
I'll turn this boat around right now. I think I'd be okay with that. Yeah, that'd show us. Anyway, that's the only news because that's the whole news. I mean, like every day is stacked up with me like giving everybody money and like signing this and signing that, and that's like the whole time, just like ready by the phone, ready to drive wherever to like sign whatever shit and give them fucking millions of dollars of my money.
So just to put it out there, this is not the place that's on the border of the crappy area.
This is the nice area.
This is the nice
So
area.
it's not as baller inside. It's not like granite countertops and like the paint in it is like new, but they use like sky blue for 2 of the upstairs bedrooms, and they use like it looks like the color of a goddamn Adobe hut along the walls, you know. So you're like, I'm not doing this, you know. So we got to paint it, but luckily there's nothing to like patch. and the texturing's all there, so everything should just be like roll-on paint, good to go.
But it's in the same town. It's like seriously like a 5-minute drive from where we are right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a 5-minute drive. It's a safe area, parking on the street.
You know what, though? That's exactly what it is. Everybody knows that's what you want to pay for. You want to pay for the good spot, not the shiny granite, because you can do all that yourself.
It's true, but the other place was so move-in ready. It was like incredible. This place, though, does include, it included like the washer and dryer. They have a new water heater, new sinks, new fridge. I mean, everything's included. They even included a fucking flat screen TV.
No shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a 35-inch.
Whatever.
It's already on the wall. I'm like,
put that in the bathroom, dude.
That's where you watch your porn. Make it nice and simple.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like
jerk it, make your deposit in the toilet, take a shower, you're good to go.
Yeah, I gotta get it like installed in the shower actually.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna build it out, put some like plexiglass in front of it so it's like waterproof, and then I can jerk it with my conditioner in the shower.
So does this place have new toilet seats, or do you have to like take your crack
I already checked it out, dude.
and install it?
These
the jumbo jack challenge.
Oh, dude, they're like made of brass. Like, not really.
Wow.
They need to be because
That's heavy duty.
Yeah.
You need like one of those industrial like metal toilets that are at the like bathrooms at the beach
With no seat?
Yeah, there's no seat. It's just this cold, dark
Stainless.
glass. Yeah.
Doesn't even lift up, just one unit.
Yeah.
If they're brass, isn't brass a soft metal? Aren't you going to eventually make an imprint into it then with your pointy ass?
Best part of that, it'd leave after he spent enough time. He'd have a green ring. In the copper in the brass.
Exactly.
The nickel bears to get some color finally.
Antiquing that toilet. So, anyways, there's that.
A
And
nice patina.
yeah, like a patina. And a musk.
A lot of places you pay for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's the place. I don't know. We're pretty fucking stoked. We'll be out of here by the end of the month. It said like 21-day closing. So yeah, we'll be out. We're moving. That's like sorry guys. That's the next few weeks of my fucking intro. So
Well, you know,
I'm moving and shit.
On the bright side, you don't have to move all your money with you.
I will say, besides that, besides me having millions of dollars, me and the roommate are started playing Borderlands 2 over again with new characters. So just because it's like split screen on the same TV, and so just like it's just like fun, sit on the couch with your buddy and just play a game. Because all the other shit that's multiplayer is like you have to have your own console. We live in the same fucking house. Like there's no point to all that nonsense. So so that's fun. Borderlands is sick. And then when on the 27th, on the 27th, the new one comes out on the Xbox One and PS4, which is like the Handsome Jack collection that includes Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel, and all DLC is included. Even if it's like not out yet, you can download it for free, and it's all for $60. So I'm totally getting that.
Yeah.
So it's
I
not a
would
new
get that
story.
too.
It's just a bundle of all the existing.
Well, not Borderlands 1. It
Yeah,
just has
'cause-
the newest one where it's on the moon,
Oh yeah.
and then it also there's a really cool feature. Well, first of all, it's like 1080p, 60 frames a second, which is sweet, and updated graphics. The second thing is that it's up to 4-player split screen.
Oh, nice.
So you can all have a character and play
Just fucking hang out
4-player.
and play some Borderlands.
Basically, like I mean,
Yeah.
I got a 60-inch in right now, and so like we could all have 30 inches to play around with. It's black, and have some fun with it.
So you're telling
That's
me
like 5 times as many inches as I've ever had. So
yeah,
that's-
pretty much, exactly.
So you're telling me they've finally caught up to GoldenEye
Basically,
on the Nintendo 64?
Indeed.
There you go.
4-person split screen. Wow.
Who's going to deal with that fucking CPAD anymore? God damn, atrocious, dude.
Bad.
Oh, I will say this, though. When it comes down to when we have to move you out of here and you ask for my help, I'll just take payments in PVR and Dragon's Dark here, PAX of Magic. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Got a deal?
Yep.
Sounds good.
You're moving yourself, huh?
Yeah. So what's your rate? $0? Cool. Yeah. So anyway, that's me. What are you guys doing? What's going on?
I've been up to fuck all lately. Just working and going to school. Not really having too much money to invest in any games or magic cards, but I did download this free game.
Mr. Snicker at me last week, motherfucker, now join the party.
I didn't even want to tell anybody about it. I was kind of ashamed. It's like, when you have sex with the fat chick and you're like, oh, God, I hope nobody knows.
But you still did it, and it was still fun.
But I know.
It's like I know.
And
It's like owning a scooter.
Yeah. I know.
I got a sexy Vespa.
The problem is I know, and I probably wouldn't mind doing it again. So I downloaded the Pokemon TCG.
That's right. That's right.
And
spreading the disease.
I mean, I just wanted to try it out because Crow was talking about it, and it's all right. I mean, it's very simplified.
It's no Magic, but
yeah. If Magic is the top, then Hearthstone, and then the Pokemon TCG. I mean, I still get like the part I like about it the most is like that. Like discovery stage of playing a game, like it feels the same way when I started playing like Duels of the Planeswalker for the first time. It's like, whoo, all these new mechanics and symbols, and I get kind of tingly inside. And
I'm burned. What does that mean?
Yeah, but so yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna like put too much time into it, but it's one of those. I don't hate it. Yeah. So I'll probably end up playing it like on and off.
Yeah, exactly. When I start talking about it, I'm just like, for me, like I love Pokemon, and nostalgia-wise, it's just great. I mean, that's why to me it makes it better than Hearthstone. Like, I'm not really into Hearthstone too much. I mean, it is enjoyable when I actually play.
Right.
But Pokemon, like, it's just it's simplified. But it's still a trading card game that has quality going on to it. There's no like glitches, no bullshit. Like, what the fuck is that card? No, it's legitimate gameplay.
Yeah, it's real smooth.
And then you add
going down.
Yeah, and you add the nostalgia to it of back to your childhood of playing Pokemon, and that just puts it to the top for me. Like, I love Pokemon. It's just fun.
I'm looking forward to like getting the Game Boy game, like X or Y or one of those. I heard they have a lot of the old school Pokemon in there. So
I have a second. I have X and Y because I bought X and then my mom gave me Y for Christmas. So I'm not playing the other one. So let's make a trade.
Yeah, well.
So it's free to download.
Free to download.
Low cost to entry. You start with like a good set of cards. You don't have to like.
You start with like
spend money to get good stuff.
You start with like 3 intro decks. Let's call them. And when you beat like the AI, you unlock certain cards, and then you beat the AI enough times, and you get like a booster pack, and then you accumulate like coins through beating people, and then you can spend the coins on getting more packs or more intro decks or theme decks, which I assume are like better than intro decks but still need some work. So I mean, it's definitely fun. I just built my first deck on there. I haven't had a chance to play with it, but it's something that's gonna retain my interest for probably like another week, and then I'll forget about it for a couple months and then go back to it.
And once you start figuring out what colors you like playing with, what elements and whatnot you like to play with, I actually with a buddy before I got into Magic, nostalgia-wise, I used to play we used to play Pokemon back when it first came out. I still have the entire complete original set. Couple of Charizards in there. Proud
no
of.
big deal.
Yeah.
Just get some Charizards.
But I got a buddy of mine, and we got back into it for a little while there. And same thing I talked about before. Like I've done multiple drugs. I love cocaine. I love drinking, all that kind of stuff. But I've never been addicted to any of it. Never had a problem like, okay, I need to stop. I'm not going crazy on money. The one thing I have an addiction to is buying booster packs of games I love and whatnot. So it's difficult for me to stop because just like I gotta find out what's in that next pack. I love it.
Well, I mean, the first step is just admitting you have a problem.
Yeah, well, I'm there. That's what I'm saying. So I at the time we were playing, like he's since fallen off, but I had bought a shit ton of booster packs for Pokemon, and each single pack they give you a QR code to put into the Pokemon online game. Which essentially you buy your physical booster pack, and then you get a digital booster pack as well, which would be amazing if one day they did that with Magic, because that would be fucking sweet.
Or at least if they did that with like Duels of the Planeswalker, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you buy an actual pack, you can put a code in to get a Duels pack, which would be cool.
Yeah. So I had a shit ton of ones from there, and so I've got to open a shit ton of boosters on there in the last week or so since I started playing it again. So my point being, once you figure out what kind of elements, what colors you want to play, hit me up, because if I'm not playing those and those great cards, I can go ahead and trade them to you so you can have a great deck too.
Nice. I'm kind of liking. I always liked when I played Pokemon, the actual video game. I always liked fucking Haunter. But his final form was like Gengar or whatever.
Yeah, Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar.
Yeah. And then I always liked Executor and just like kind of like the dick guys, like they just kind of fuck you over a little
was like a
bit.
big old fucking stampeding moron.
So
that makes sense for you.
Yeah. So I like.
Hey.
He doesn't have dick arms up, but I built the
He had a
deck.
dick face.
The deck I built was like purple and colorless, so it's kind of like the psychic.
Basic.
Yeah, so I don't know, it's kind of cool.
How can it be purple and colorless?
Because there's a colorless, normal,
There's-
basic Pokemon.
Yeah, there's like colorless creatures.
Rattata. And,
Yeah, exactly.
Shit like that. Chansey.
Did you play Pokemon?
No.
Well,
Then get
I like
the fuck
you-
out of this
I like
conversation,
you a little bit.
special guest piece of shit.
I like you a little bit less now.
Here's something that'll make you like me even less. I didn't like Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, you're an idiot.
I never played past the SNES version, so
You're an idiot too. I just downloaded Final Fantasy 7 on Steam it was on sale for $5. So
I
I
never
never play that
even,
on the computer also.
I never even beat any of them. How do you like them apples?
I haven't played all of them by any
Too
means. But
busy
7's
beating
great.
other things, huh?
Yep. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've been up to. Nothing special. So what the fuck have you been up to, Crow?
No. Currently with the non-stop, non-work time off, my days are kind of drowning together, especially since I don't sleep anyways, really. So, like, I can't believe it's already Thursday again. Like, last Thursday was, I don't know, 2 days ago, it feels like. So I've been doing a whole lot, playing the same, like Far Cry 4, playing Moto Online, doing a couple of Moto drafts, and having a good time at that, but not a whole lot to update other than that. I mean, just hanging out, playing games, and this and that, so...
Speaking of like getting your days mixed up, I have this reoccurring nightmare, like during the day, where like I'm awake, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, "Oh no, did I edit and put the podcast out? Am I late? Oh God!" And then I'm like, "Okay, no, I put it out. Okay, good. Nobody's mad at me. Okay, good."
It's Wednesday.
Nobody's
I was thinking.
Teachers is not calling me, what the fuck?
Yeah, but that's happened like for the past 3 weeks, where I'm like, "Oh no, what day is it? Okay, good. I did it. Okay."
So in the past, we talked about having that buddy who gets like too drunk and does stupid shit, and you're always trying to get him out of fights and stuff. And
Right.
Anyways, this same guy, and I love the guy, but man, he was so fucking wasted. My wife had been out with her aunt, and then went over to his place with his girlfriend, was hanging out over there. I got a call, like, "Come pick us up." Freaking Lucky's going nuts and like verbally abusing his girl and this and that. It was all fucking nuts. It's like, Jesus Christ. I get over there and have to frickin' like calm it all down and get in his face, and it's like, "Oh, you're gonna get in my face, try to call the cops, I'm gonna get my son taken from him." I was like, "No, dude, I'm just making you shut the fuck up as much as possible." My God, so that was, and then more shit happened and blah blah blah, and that was Saturday night. And then I don't know if you guys ever had it with the girl where you're about to be with fisticuffs with a friend or this or that, or some random dude, or you're at a bar and some guy tries to like fight you, and your girl says out like she's gonna be all tough, like she's gonna kick his ass for you and this and that. And my wife is very tough. She's very tough. She can't kick ass. I've seen her do it. But like at one point I'm with my buddy and he's being stupid and whatnot, and now it's escalated to being outside and screaming. I'm trying to tell him, "Dude, shut the fuck up before somebody calls the cops." And he's like, "You're gonna call the cops on me now?" Like, no, fucking idiot. You're screaming outdoors. Somebody's gonna call the cops and shit's gonna go wrong. So after he says that, he gets all agitated and he fucking kind of hitches back like he's gonna punch me. Well, I just punched in the way like I'm ready to block it, but I'm used to him and his bullshit he pulls, so I don't really step away from nothing. Then my wife gets all pissed off and steps like towards him like I'm gonna freaking getting all ornery about it. It's like, "Babe, now I gotta deal with him and you. Back the fuck up." I'm trying to push her away. It's like the same thing. It's like, I can't. No, just get away. I gotta deal with him. Like it's just a frustrating thing when the girl tries to step in when it doesn't need to happen like that.
Just threaten her with a Charizard, dude.
Yeah. So Saturday
No,
was,
babe, we're
was-
safe. I got you.
Saturday night was not great, but whatever, we'll get past that. So that was my week. How about you there, Mr. Pearl Lake Sweezy?
My week was pretty much only highlighted by coming back to Magic. It's a month-long adventure here, getting back into it. After all the talk of Mini Mander, Tiny Leaders, I just went down the road and built my own. Used my asset of hot sauce to help me tweak the decks. Just started with a core of everything I had, and then looked at what I was missing. Went on TCG and blew some money on it. And
Who's your leader?
My leader is Athreos.
God of Passage.
God of
The
Passage.
same one, actually, that Knifecity has on one of his decks.
Yep.
I have it in mine too. Or I have it in mine.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
he's
his leader, though.
Yeah, that's true.
that's one of the better leaders.
Yeah. His is, I mean, it's following Knifecity fashion. It's just a dick hair.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like every time you play against it, I'm sure you're going to be like, again, God, just let me do something or whatever. You know what I mean? It's going to be one of those. Not like creature beatdown, not just like getting damage around the back door type stuff.
Yeah. It's, I don't think it needs to be a secret, but it's built on Extort, which was my first mechanic in Magic, and I loved it then, and I just want to go back to it. So
I love Extort.
Grabbed everything that could use Extort. Unfortunately, I don't get to use that Crypt Gas. He's a little too expensive, but
He's 4 mana, right?
Yeah, he's
4
4
mana,
mana.
yeah. So
Just awesome.
just outside, but I'd like to put those 4 foils to work, but no dice.
No dice.
No dice.
So that's it. I'm waiting tentatively by the mailbox, waiting for those to get delivered. They've all shipped, and I'm in the mode of where the hell are they? out there first thing in the morning with my slippers on.
Yeah.
What the? Now I gotta go to work. Fuck.
The fuck is that postman?
Yeah. So that's it. That's my only highlights.
Speaking of waiting for cards in the mail, I do have a brief story about Puka Trade. So I think I talked about it last
week,
episode,
yeah.
and probably sometimes
The
before
Ryke
that.
fiasco of the concept. Puka.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said it.
So I'd signed up a long time ago, and I never did anything with it, never accumulated any points or anything. And then so like last week or the week before, I actually started doing some of the things that gave me free points. So 1 point is worth 1 cent. And so if you add like an avatar, you get $1, or 100 Puka points. If you do this, you get 100 Puka points. So I got up to like 500 Puka points or something. And I had forgotten that I had put a bunch of stuff on my want list. So, okay, so also an addendum to what I was saying last week. I had said that I had stated it wrong how you go about getting cards. So people have like a want list, and it's up to the person who's going to send the card to go around and look for people who want his card, and then they go, okay, I got you, and then they send the card. It's not the other way around. It's not the person. It's not the person who wants the card goes, oh, hey, you have that, I want it. It's up to the sender to go looking for it.
How is the price established? The sender gets to say how much they want, and then
No,
it's okay?
that's already established by Puka Trade. They have their own algorithm for the prices and everything.
So it's fixed price, just depends on the quality,
I think there's a little leeway when it comes to quality, so if it's like slightly played or heavily played or near mint, I'm not sure exactly how all that goes. But the point is, I went and got the mail the other day, and I got a fucking card in the mail from fucking South Carolina or fucking somewhere. And I'm like, well, that's weird. Like, did I order a card and then forget about it? Because I've ordered cards before and they come like a month later. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I ordered this. So I go and fucking take it out, and it's Cemetery Reaper. It's one of the zombies for my EDH deck. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I look at the back, and there's like a little post-it, and it says Puka, and it has this little, like, I assume it's like the Puka trade number for that specific trade, and then it has like a little smiley face or fucking whatever. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Oh yeah, I put a bunch of shit on my want list, and since I got those points, someone said, hey, he wants that card and he has enough points to pay for it, I'm gonna send it to him. So, and
How much did it cost
all
you?
your free points.
Yeah, exactly.
It was 500 exactly.
Yeah, no, it was like 200 points or something, and I had already ordered that card a long time ago off of TCG, so it was kind of just made me laugh. I was like, God damn it! But I mean, it's cool that the system is actually working. So,
Right. That's pretty, yeah.
that was nice.
I think, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but like when I signed up a while back and did the same thing, got the free points, and I got, at some point I got a card or two, I don't know if I got a Hero's Downfall, or I can't remember exactly what I got. But I feel like I searched somebody else out that had the card and I paid the points. I don't think I put it on a want list. I know you can't put things on want lists, but I feel like I searched them out when I got that card. but I could be wrong. But it's because it's been like 3 months.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's you have.
Could probably
I
go
don't
both
know.
ways.
I
You
don't
know, you both have accounts. You could research this, and
Yeah, you could probably do your own goddamn research instead of
let the
listening
discerning
to us.
public,
Yeah. Or you can
in
laugh
on
when we
it.
say puka puka.
Yeah. Puka trades a place to get cards.
Yeah, good
He's got
place.
like a New York accent
How?
on that
We
one.
don't know.
Yeah, it's magic. Get it? Magic. Anyways,
God.
Oh my.
so
And the horrible segues continue.
I wasn't even gonna try and
But
segue
anyway,
that
speaking
one.
of magic,
Anyway, speaking of things, you guys are dicks. You guys are dick arms. So, Crow, you got a little something for us.
One of the things I have been doing in my off time is, stupidly spending money that I shouldn't be spending on eBay, doing some bids on some stuff. So,
perfect.
I won the Elspeth versus Kiora dual deck for a few bucks off, and I got a couple different packs or this and that. So, I actually won a bid for a pack of Unhinged that I'm cracking at this very moment. And we thought
could you please explain what Unhinged is?
Unhinged is there's 2 sets that Magic has put out that were never legal to play in any standard tournaments of any sort. They're gray bordered, and they're really, it's kind of turns Magic into a fun game that you can make into a drinking game or do funny shit where.
Yeah, because Magic sucks.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
it's just funny. Like
It's
one
boring after like an hour.
Yeah,
It's basically just a joke set.
yeah,
it's not
but
standard
it's
legal.
a good time. I mean, like one of the cards, like, oh yeah, when this card enters the field, if you want, you can put counters on it. But the stipulation is they are shoe counters, so you literally have to take your shoes off and put them on the table on the card for them to be counters on the card.
I love that. That card already just cracks me up, dude.
So
what's the set? I want to hear like every card in this set. I mean, honestly.
So I'm cracking a pack of Unhinged. First card is Graphic Violence. It's a green and 2. It's an instant. All creatures by the artist of your choice get +2/+2 and gain trample until end of turn. It has a little warning symbol on here, like on a pack of cigarettes, saying, "Warning: the Dominarian Surgeon General has found that savage beings can lead to chump blocks, life reduction, and even game loss."
And Dominaria is the original plane that Magic originated from.
Ridiculous. The gray borders?
Yes. The next card is Fascist Art Director. 2 white and 1. It's a 2/2 creature, human horror. Pay 2 white, Fascist Art Director gains protection from the artist of your choice until end of turn. So they're doing a lot of stuff for involved artist situations and a lot of things like that, just to kind of give them some credit as well. And next card is Moniker Mage. It's a blue and 2 creature, human wizard. It's a 2/2. For 1 blue, you can say your middle name. Moniker Mage can't be the target of spells or abilities this turn. Pay a blue, say opponent's middle name. Moniker Mage gains flying until end of turn.
Oh my god.
The next card is Badass. It's a fucking donkey zombie.
Oh, that's my favorite card from those sets.
So 2 black and 2. Its power is 3.5, and its toughness is 1. You can pay a black and 1 and growl and regenerate Badass. Just and fucking regenerate the card.
That is so silly.
I just like that he has a half toughness.
3.5.
3.5.
There's that one little girl who's she's a half power, half toughness card, and you pay half a mana to cast her. So Mana Flare is the next one. It's a red and 1 instant. Add 1 red mana to your mana pool for each non-land permanent by the artist of your choice.
So artist card. Yep.
Next card is Super Size. It's 1 and a green instant. Target creature gets +3.5/+3.5 until end of turn. Retarded.
Nice.
Awesome. Circle of Protection Art for 1 and a white. It's an enchantment. As Circle of Protection Art comes into play, choose an artist. Then you can choose to pay 1 and a white. The next time a source of your choice by the chosen artist would deal damage to you this turn, prevent that damage. Pay a different 1 and a white. Return Circle of Protection Art to its owner's hand. So as soon as they put something else out that you're ruined, scared of, you can bring it back to your hand, play it again, and protect from that artist. Next card is Artful Looter. A blue and 2 creature, human wizard. It's a 1/2. Tap it, draw a card, then discard a card. Whenever a permanent comes into play that shares an artist with another permanent you control, untap Artful Looter.
Tons of artist stuff.
Has a little snippet of a newspaper on here saying priceless pick pilfered, painting found abandoned in graveyard. Just kind of a little flavor to add to all looting it and throwing it away. And then this is awesome because this is a card I actually bought for Mini Mander for fun times to fuck up with night.
Not fun times.
Disarm.
Farewell to Arms. Double black and 1. It's an enchantment. As Farewell to Arms comes into play, choose a hand attached to the opponent's arm. When the chosen hand isn't behind its owner's back, sacrifice Farewell to Arms. If you do, that player discards his or her hand, ... of cards. The lawyers wouldn't let us do it any other way. We had to put that stipulation on there at the hand. Next card is Dumbass. A red and 2. Creature Donkey Barbarian. It's a 3.5 power and 2 toughness. At the beginning of your upkeep, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, target opponent chooses whether Dumbass attacks this turn. The first uncommon is Head to Head. It's 1 white instant. You and target opponent play 7 questions about the top card of that player's library. If you win, prevent all damage that would be dealt this turn by a source of your choice.
My God, 7 questions.
It's not in this set, but my buddy was telling me that there's actually a card that, like, you play it and then you play a separate, brand new game of Magic that you have to play under the table.
Oh, yeah.
You have to get under the table, play a new game of Magic where you have, like, 7 life. Whoever wins that game, like, gets some advantage when you go back to the regular game. The next card is Rocket Powered Turbo Slug for a red and 3.
God damn.
I love the name.
Creature Slug. It's a 3/1. Super Haste. This may what?
It's like Megamorph.
Megamorph.
Oh my God. This may attack the turn before you play it.
That's rad.
You may put this card into play from your hand, tapped and attacking during your declare attacker step. If you do, you lose the game at the end of your next turn unless you pay this card's mana cost during that turn.
At least they put something to enforce it on there.
Jeez,
That's a crazy dash right there.
That's insane.
The next card is Side to Side. That's a green and 2. It's got a fucking Minotaur doing weightlifting with the goblin attached to the weight. It's an instant. You and target opponent arm wrestle. If you win, put a 3/3 green ape creature token into play. I like that card. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
My near mint, beautiful, unhinged land is a full art plains.
Let me see it.
Pretty sweet right there.
Yeah.
Don't bend it!
Oh, yeah, that's nice. That is nice.
That is nice.
And the rare here has a shitload of text to the point where the art is, where it's usually like half the card or whatever, it's a quarter of the card. It's 2 blue and 6, called Greater Morphling, creature shapeshifter. It's a 5/5. Oh, here we go. Pay 2. Greater Morphling gains your choice of Banding, Bushido 1, Double Strike, Fear, Flying, First Strike, Haste, Land Walk of your choice, Protection from the color of your choice, Provoke, Rampage 1, Shadow, or Trample until end of turn. Jesus. Or pay 2. Greater Morphling becomes the colors of your choice until end of turn. Or 2. Greater Morphling's type becomes a creature type of your choice until end of turn. Or 2. Greater Morphling's expansion symbol becomes a symbol of your choice until end of turn. Okay? Or 2, Greater Morphling's artist becomes the artist of your choice until end of turn. Or 2, Greater Morphling gets +2, -2, or -2, +2 until end of turn. Or pay 2, untap Greater Morphling.
Oh my God. Let's do that card. Holy crap.
That is a lot of text and a lot of shit.
I'm not sure if it was in the Unhinged set, but my favorite card that I've seen is the Blacker Lotus.
Yeah, it was either an unglued or unhinged.
It's like, yeah, I think it was from Unglued, but I think you pay 3... It costs 1 mana and you get 3 colorless. But to use the 3 colorless, you have to tear the card into many pieces, and then not only remove them from the board, but remove them from wherever you remove them to, completely off the table. It's got a bunch of stipulations, but I love that card.
That's pretty sick.
So I'm stoked about this. It's just kind of fun. Like, I wish it wasn't like $600 for a booster box of this, because this would be amazing to play with. And I'm pumped on the plains. Honestly, I wish it was an island, but yeah. Now I have a plains, a mountain, and a swamp of Unhinged. Now I just need an island and a forest.
There you go.
Out of one of each.
That's pretty sick, though. I like those cards.
Nice.
So what else we got?
So,
Shifting gears.
I was on Twitter the I was on Twitter the other day, and I saw Mr. Scotty Mac of the famous A-Team posted that he was going to be playing some MTGO Commander. He does a lot of streaming just on his own, aside from the cast.
Mastering Magic.
Yes, Mastering Magic on Twitch.tv. The Mr. Scotty Mac at Twitch.tv or whatever. So anyways, I saw he was going to be playing Commander, and I thought that was weird because Commander's not that like fun to watch.
Or play on
and or
there?
play sometimes, well, especially on Moto.
Yeah,
That's what I'm really getting at is on the Moto
Dude,
version.
every
It's
card
just
is like the
so
size
much.
of an ant.
Yeah.
And you're constantly having to like click on it and hold it up to see what does this card do.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
So much shit.
So he was like, "Hey, if anybody wants to play, just hit me up." And so I had him up, said, "Hey, if I'm around at that time, I'll play." And sure enough, there wasn't a big line of people wanting to play with him. So I had built my zombie EDH deck with Grim Grin as the commander. I built it on Moto, and so my zombie deck is what we call a fair deck, or what Jason Alt would describe it as a 75% deck. And it might not even be a 75, it might be less than that, but pretty much meaning like Commander, you can do some crazy ass things, but if you do like obnoxiously crazy things where it's not fun to play, then people won't want to play with you. So, you build the deck to 75% of its maximum capacity. So
it's not a mega deck.
Yeah,
It's
so
just a regular
It's
deck.
not like you have a commander that damn near every card in your deck that's on a land will interact with the commander and do crazy things.
yeah, so,
You know what I mean?
So pretty much it just, fogs everyone else out of playing. So yeah, my deck is pretty fair. It's just like a tribal deck. I got some shenanigans in there, but hey, don't bark back when I say hey, you cocksuckers.
Hit him.
I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna pick one dog up and then hit the other dog with it. Hey, knock it off. I'm gonna have to edit this out now.
Where'd everybody go?
I'm talking about Commander. Everybody left.
I'm not interested in
Yeah,
this.
fuck this.
Just good old reliable peppermint swirl who should probably stick around for the rest of the podcasts. Until he moves away.
Yeah. All right, well, glad you're back. Dicks.
And that's this episode of It
I wanted
Lands.
to be involved in the conversation. Okay, they're just making a fucking pause on purpose for me.
So,
Pause, get it, pause.
yeah, that was. So, anyways,
It's the most crucial minute, though.
so ended up playing with him on his stream and just got fucking ranched. I mean, the other like three, he had a pretty fucking righteous deck on there that was just like obnoxious as fuck.
Unfair deck.
His commander was Child of Alara, I think, which when it leaves the battlefield or when it dies, destroy all non-land permanents. All non-land permanents.
All.
So, and then the other decks, like one deck had pretty much all non-basic lands are mountains, and so that just dicked everybody over.
Looks
so.
like Blood Moon.
Yeah, Blood Moon, but it wasn't Blood Moon, it was something else.
Something
right?
else, really? Well,
Or maybe-
Blood Moon is that.
Well, the
All
name
non-basic
was
lands turns into
the name was something else. Anyway,
So that Perforos deck was kind of ridiculous.
the
though.
Perforos deck was dope. I like the Perforos deck.
It's also like sometimes too good when that thing's like indestructible, and like he had some combo pieces where like what did he have? He had it something like where you can pay into X and put a bunch of like 1/1s on the battlefield or something like that, and every time you play a creature, it adds that number of mana back into your mana pool or something like that. He had
was
something where it went up to like
ridiculous.
80 mana through one spell.
It was,
And so everyone just died. Like once you like all these things just hit the board.
yeah, there's just
it
a million triggers.
There's a million triggers and everyone just fucking died. It does Perforos does 2 damage for each creature, and he had this mana and he just pumped it all in, and
I
we're
love
just like
Perforos.
watching the stack go like off the screen. Like what the
Yeah.
hell happened here?
It was gnarly. So yeah, I barely got to do any of my shenanigans. Every time I was about to do something, my fucking Rooftop Storm got fucking exiled or fucking put into the graveyard or fucking something. That's where I get the cast zombies for free, and so that's like where all my shenanigans come from. But so anyways, it was it. I told him that because we played the first game and the Perforos dude won, we played the second game and Scotty won, and one of the guys just conceded because it was taking forever. I just died eventually. Like I was just playing out my fair shit that was not
Did you
gonna
only play
fucking do
two all
anything.
games?
Yeah, we played 2 games, but one lasted like an hour and a half. I
Yeah.
feel like.
So that's the one I came into 30 seconds before you were killed.
Yeah.
I then proceeded to finish the stream of the rest of the two guys battling Scotty and another dude.
Right.
And it was insane. He fucking, with his deck, I forget what the card is called, like, not Gifts Ungiven, maybe? No, it was a white one. Anyways, essentially he had a land that every time he sacked it, he would gain 2 life. So at the beginning of this turn, he started with, like, 14 life. He kept sacking all his lands, and then he would sack everything on the entire board would be wiped, including all the other players' permanents would be wiped. And then he'd play this card and bring it back.
Yeah, you get to play a card, and everything that went to the graveyard this turn, you return it.
Yeah. So he did that like 3 times, and he literally went from, in one turn, went from 14 life, gained like a little over 100 life, and then swung in for more than 200 damage.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my god, that was fucking crazy.
Pretty ridiculous. And basically, I told him that I regretted every decision I've ever made in my life that led me up to this moment. And that I no longer want to play Commander. So if you're looking for a good zombie EDH deck, I have one for sale.
I'll trade your Pokemon cards for your zombie EDH deck.
So, I mean, it was cool, but I just have to remember that not everyone's going to build, like, fair EDH decks, and like that. I don't want to play against people who have unfair EDH decks. I mean, to stream it and to kind of like make it entertaining where it's like, holy fuck, he's doing what? You know, that's like the entertaining part of it. But to actually play, like if you guys were to make like unfair EDH decks and then just go off all the time, I'd be like, yeah, I don't want to play EDH anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. It's still fun being on the stream, though.
Yeah, it's fun being on a stream, you know, and I shamelessly, promoted the cast.
Good. Glad to hear it.
After I got knocked out, I was like, well, fuck, I'm not going to do anything else. Might as well just fucking do that. So yeah, that was fun. And hopefully I'll never play him ever again. And I hope he stubs his toe. And I hope he
steps on a Lego.
And steps on a Lego, and I hope the milk he drinks in the morning is spoiled.
I hope his DVR loses his favorite shows and he stubs his toe into the bathroom in the morning.
Yeah.
Hope his toilet seat cracks on.
I hope when he pees, it forks and pee gets all over the floor.
Yep.
That ever happen to you guys?
In that nasty spot that you don't want to clean?
Yeah, exactly. In between the sink and the toilet. That ever happen to you guys? Your pee forks?
Yeah, it's after a night of sex. The seat has been.
That's what you got to take it a fucking UTI, buddy.
Yeah.
You got to pee after sex, dude.
Yeah.
You're going after the hot rod joke.
Pee during sex. If you
that really helps.
It's really awkward. You think you're going to come and all of a sudden it's pee in her mouth and it's just like,
So you got to do that. That's a master technique, though. You have to.
I done it on purpose.
Pee while coming. You got to master that.
You know what?
Clean the pipes all at once.
I mean, this might be a little bit too much, but I can't come if I have to pee. It's just like it's like a railroad track, and it won't switch over to the other track. You know what I mean? I'm like, go over. We're heading south, not north. God damn it. So, anyways, yeah.
Oh god, the train derailed.
Yeah. Oh god.
It really becomes an issue when you're on coke.
Yeah. Well,
it really becomes both.
Well, that's why I don't shove coke up my ass anymore. So
wow. We have a lot of news from this weekend.
We have a lot of news from this weekend. First, let's talk about, before we get to the super exciting stuff, let's talk about this green-white Mastery of the Unseen deck that took down... What did it take down?
Every single person, basically? Well, I'd say
it was Grand Prix Miami.
Which is the big guns. That's the big guns. Let's see here. Let me pull this fucking thing up. Just goddamn password.
So what happens with that? Like, SCG and Magic eventually at that point, like, partner for the GP? Because it's just kind of like, I don't really quite get how everything gets laid out.
There's tournament organizers, so they kind of like outsource. Magic outsources their tournaments to other people. And so, like, the GP Vegas, for example, Channel Fireball is running it, but it's a GP, so it's, Wizards. But the tournament organizer who's really doing all the legwork is Channel Fireball. So
at GP Miami, though, it was like SCG had a stream for GP Miami and Magic had a stream for GP Miami.
Well, I don't know about that.
That's why I'm confused about it. So it's kind of like
maybe they were just like sometimes people just stream other streams. They like host the stream, so maybe that's what they're doing. But I doubt it.
It was different games though. That's why I was very confused about it. I didn't really get what was happening. That's why
maybe
I took the question out
they
there.
had their own thing in Miami. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Or they're streaming. Maybe Magic was streaming side events. Or
Maybe
something.
Will Smith was there. I don't know what's going on.
So the top 8 had 3 of these green-white devotions. First, second, and actually, no, it's not top 8, so that's wrong. It was just a one of them was after the top 8. I don't know, like whatever between that and 64th. For some reason on this fucking list I'm looking at, which is strange.
So it's
because
top 2, right?
it was the top 2 though. For some reason they have like 9 decks in this thing, all the top 8, and then just this one green-white devotion on the bottom that just says that it's there. I'm like, okay, never mind, I misread. So anyways, green-white devotion is like the same thing. We mentioned it, like
Raging Gumby.
Raging Gumby had a deck similar, but it splashed red. It was like Naya mid-range.
And I feel like after his success, like people started brewing with it more, and like that's how it got to this iteration of it.
So I think people really saw that like you can do a lot with like mono green ramp. You know, like creating a ton of mana opens a lot of doors for what cards you can play and things that have X in it and all this kind of fun stuff. And we've seen like green ramp with like Pelucranos, and now we've seen it with like Genesis Hydra. But we haven't seen it, except for that last weekend or whatever, with Mastery of the Unseen. Mastery of the Unseen is that 1 and a white board enchantment that when a face down creature turn face up, you gain 1 life for each creature on the board, and also it has ability of pay 3 and a white at any time and manifest top card of your library. So when he has all this mana through this generally green ramp shell, you know, Courser, Mystic, Voyaging Satyr, Sylvan Caryatid, Nykthos, all that fun stuff. Also has 4 Pelucranos and 4 Genesis Hydra. He has Whisperwood Elemental to like bring out a bunch of 2/2s, which will flip with Master of the Unseen and gain a whole bunch of life. So we've seen like a lot of matches where they're down to like 3 health, and then the board gets kind of stalled. And when that happens and he has mana, he just keeps pumping into Master of the Unseen, bringing out 2/2s and flipping them and gaining life. And it just goes off. I mean, like there was games that people were at like 400 life.
Yeah.
You know, down from like 3 to up to 400. Because every time that thing flipped, it would create a whole bunch of life, or you get a bunch of life, and then it turned into a badass creature, hopefully like a Pelucranos or something like that. Then you can pump X into that and wipe their board out. But the thing is, this deck takes forever because it's like a board, it stalls the board where nobody's really attacking because they have equal amount of creatures. Like there's no profitable attacks. There's nothing here with like trample, there's nothing, they're all big. There's a lot of shit going on, but Master of the Unseen sort of takes that over and just overpowers them eventually, but it takes fucking forever to happen.
Yeah.
They get a whole bunch of life, and then finally they get to a point where they get Pelucranos out, and they're able to X and, pay into X and wipe their board out, or, you have that, and then they also had 1 Teamer Sabertooth. That's a 1-of because you have Pelucranos and you pump into X, right? Well, now the monstrosity is done. So you use Teamer Sabertooth's ability, which is 1 and a green, to return target creature to your hand, and then this thing gains indestructible, which they don't care about that. All it is a creature that you can return Pelucranos back to your hand, play it again, pump X into it again, and just whittle their board down
and now your X is way larger than the first time you played.
And X is larger, and then you're able to get the opponent's board down to like nothing, and then you finally swing in with all your 2/2s and your 26 Pelucranos and 18 Genesis Hydra and whatever else. That's pretty much the deck. I mean, like, it stalls out like a motherfucker. There is hardly any times where this thing goes quick. And it's just on like a regular green ramp nut draw where you get like Elfish Mystic and Courser into Pelucranos and you just like beat down and they don't have the spells to kill it. Like, that's the only way to go fast. Otherwise, you just sit there and wait until your board is gigantic. You use Pelucranos to kill everything and you just attack in. So, but Master of the Unseen went from like 40 cents up to $6 in the matter of like 3 hours or 6 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
And they had like a promo version from the pre-release or whatever,
Ugin's
right?
Fate promo.
Ugin's Fate promo. And that thing went up to like $35.
Stoked I got one.
Yeah, I got one too. It was badass. But I'm like, I can't believe that card could jump in price so radically. It just like makes no sense. That card's powerful, but people are like getting crazy with it now. People are buying it up. There's 4 of in this deck, and all the other decks I've seen have like at least 3 main board and then 1 in the sideboard or something. Because once it goes along, like, you just can't beat that shit. You know what I mean? Unless you have like, what's the artifact that you like pay for and like remove all non-land permanents, exile all non-land permanents?
Perilous Vault.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people that play like enchantment hate, so that's not really a way to do it. And so, anyways, it's crazy. It's a crazy deck.
So I don't want to talk about it too much this week, so I tweak it a little more. But I built a ramp deck myself because ever since Villains both came out and I got to play it on Moto and hit somebody for like 8, and I was like, that was exciting to me. So back in my mind, I've wanted to do that for a while, but I didn't have the Coursers or the Caryatids and haven't played much of green. So I'm still tweaking the deck, but the thing I was excited about is earlier I was playing against Hot Sauce, and I managed to Villainous Wealth him for 23 against his Abzan aggro deck.
Yeah, he did.
It was awesome.
He's able to, that was like the second time he did it, that game.
Yeah, I Villainous for like 8 the first time, or 5. I think it was
more than that. I think it was like 11, but still.
Yeah, whatever it was, yeah.
He had Nykthos out. It just pumped it all in. I have no counter spells on my shit. I was like, all right, well, that sucks. And so he got like my Siege Rhino and Planeswalker and whatever
Yeah,
else.
he had the 23. I nicked those, and then I had another Nykthos that I pulled from the stack from my Coursers Crucifix, and then played that and got the 23 mana with it, and 26 plus the 3 to pay for Villainous and then X.
Right.
So that was just awesome.
Yeah, it was just insane. That deck is it's a similar thing of just like, hopefully you can hold off the aggro decks in the beginning, but once it goes long, you have like Crater's Claws to pump all your mana into. You have the Genesis Hydra to pump into. You have Plugernos to pump into, and you have Villainous Wealth to pump into.
I have the god that Crucifix god allows me to turn all colors mana into stored mana.
All colored mana into colorless
mana at stores. And then I also have the Prophet of Crucifix that allows me to untap on their upkeep. And then by the end of their step, I tap all that mana and store it all.
Yeah.
And just kind of
or just play your hand or whatever.
Quick, yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty sweet deck. I mean, when it works, it's like you just pick up your cards.
Yeah.
So what else we got? We had some Magic news from the last weekend. We had, what was it? It was was it PAX?
It was PAX East or something.
Yeah, it's PAX East,
which is the Penny
Arcade
Expo, and they do big things there and announce stuff. We all know that, or most of us know, that Modern Masters 2015 is coming out in the end of May. And so everyone's all hyped about it because the last Modern Masters, they're reprinting all these cards that are, somewhat played in Modern. So like Tarmogoyf and Dark Confidant and all these other cards. And it's just a fun limited environment also. So they finally spoiled some cards. We already knew that Emrakul was going to be, that was the first card they spoiled.
Exactly.
So that was like a while ago, so everyone already knew about that.
Oh, I didn't really.
Yeah, Emrakul's that 15/15 Annihilator. Basically, like, if you play this, you win. It costs like 12 mana? 15 mana?
It costs 15 mana.
Yeah, so it's
but
like...
people just cheated in.
You just cheated in, exactly. Or you hardcast it through the Tron sequence and stuff like that, Tron cards.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Also, Etch Champion had been revealed a long time ago, but
that's like the cover photo for it.
Yeah, so that's all old news, but they spoiled 2 big fuck cards at PAX East. Everyone has been bitching about Tarmogoyf. Let me go ahead and read it for those who don't know. It's for 1 and a green. Tarmogoyf's power is equal to the number of card types among cards in all graveyards, and its toughness is equal to that number plus 1. So in every green deck, you play Tarmogoyf. In Modern,
absolutely,
you're playing Tarmogoyf
because there's so many fetch lands. So you have lands in the graveyard. There's a bunch of instants in the beginning for either or sorceries for Thoughtseize or for Abrupt Decays or Brainstorms or all that kind of stuff. The first few turns.
Well, not Brainstorm. It's not legal.
What's that?
Brainstorm's not
legal.
Well,
I mean, whatever other ones there are. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So there's always going to be instant sorceries and lands right away. Right. And so that thing's a 3/4 right off the bat, basically.
Yeah.
And then from there, it can just go up to, I think the max is 6/7, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so that's Planeswalkers, lands, instant sorceries, creatures,
enchantments, artifacts. So the price has just been astronomical. I mean, even before the original Modern Masters came out, the price was up there. And then
I think it was like 140, I think.
And then Modern Masters, the first one came out, and the price dipped a little bit, and then it just shot up. Because Modern Masters was such a limited print run that some copies got out there in the market, and then everyone was wanting them because Modern Masters came out, and Modern has been getting more popular as a format also, and so the price just shot up, and so reprinting it actually made the price go up, basically.
Because they didn't print enough of them for what was happening.
Yeah, and they also didn't print enough of them, and so they finally reprinted it again in Modern Masters 2015, and everyone was super stoked for it. And yeah, I mean, I don't plan on playing Modern, or at least if I do, I'm not playing. I plan on playing like 4 Tarmogoyfs, so I'm not like too stoked on it. But it's just good that other people who want them, who need them, can play with them.
They said that they're going to have more. They're going to have more printings this year also of Modern Masters 2 than Modern Masters 1. So they're going to have more packs available. And
flood the market a little bit more.
Flood the market a little bit more. I mean, Tarmogoyf right now is $200.
Yeah.
And it was printed as a mythic.
Wow.
In that set and in this set.
Okay.
So, I mean,
it's still going to be rare to get.
It's still going to be pretty rare.
But still, why not? It's going to be the market needs it a little bit. Like Magic doesn't want for people not to be able to play the cards they want. You know, in most cases, like they understand the market, like, you know, does its thing and shit gets expensive, but they don't want a card like that to see no play. You know, they want people to have a chance at it. You know, and that's a lot of these cards. They'll reprint stuff that they see is good for the game, and they want to see more people play it. So,
I saw a picture somebody posted on Twitter probably a month ago now of somebody had cracked a Modern Masters pack, and the asshole drew a Tarmogoyf and a foil Tarmogoyf in one pack. I'm like, that's stupid. Are you kidding me?
Foil Goyf's like $500.
Like,
yeah, if that was
shit.
If that was like in a draft, I would just stand up and walk away. Like, I'm not passing this. I don't care.
No, seriously though. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, go fuck your life. So the other big card that was spoiled was Karn Liberated, and he is the only colorless. Well, not now, but he was the only colorless Planeswalker.
Yeah, 7-mana Planeswalker.
So he's 7 mana with 6 loyalty, and his plus is a +4. Target player exiles a card from his or her hand. -3 is exile target permanent. And the -14 is restart the game, leaving in all exiled non-aura permanent cards exiled with Karn Liberated. Then put those cards onto the battlefield under your control. So basically, you exile your own shit, and then you restart the game, and you get your shit back, and the board's completely wiped. No lands, no nothing.
And then you proceed to win.
Yeah, and then you just beat face. So that's...
He's like the all-star superstar of Tron, is he not?
Yeah, the Tron decks, you know, they have their lands that, you know, once they get all 3, it produces an ungodly amount of mana. Oddly enough, 7 mana, which is Karn's converted mana cost.
Exactly, so that's it. Turn 3 Karn. That's it, as long as they're good. And they also, that deck uses like ways to search out lands, like treasure map or whatever the shit there is. So like you just find, if you don't have the lands in opening hand, hopefully you have those. You find the lands, you go for Karn, or you go for Wormcoil Engine, and then eventually you get to Emrakul, and that's how you win.
I was about to ask, do they play Emrakul? Because that makes sense.
They play Emrakul, they play like probably 1, but they play like 4 Wormcoil Engine and 4 Karns.
I mean, there's different like builds for it, but that's like the general Tron thing is just get the Karn and win.
Yeah, you can play like green to search for your mana. Search for your land cards. You can play red alongside to burn out your opponent. Like not burn out the opponent, burn out the creatures. Mm-hmm. Some cards like do 2 damage to each creature. Shit like that. That's a good. If you want to go splash that color in, that's what you pretty much play it for. Shit like that.
Or just blue for tempo and shit like
blue for
that.
tempo.
I think I've pretty much mostly heard of Blue Tron and Red Tron.
Yeah.
Personally.
I think Quickness had built Blue Tron in paper or in Moto, I forget, but if he was here, he'd be able to talk about it. But that's pretty much all we have for Modern Masters, at least right now. And so they had Magic, the Wizards of the Coast, had a panel, basically. It lasted an hour, I don't know, half an hour, some shit like that, at PAX East, where they just spoiled a whole bunch of shit. So, I mean, just spoiling Tarmogoyf and Karn in Modern Masters 2015, that's like worthy of its own special event. But no, my good sirs, there was more.
A lot more.
A lot more. So they also spoiled the M16 set, which is called, well, they didn't spoil it, but...
Yeah, but Origins.
Origins, which is aka M16. But they spoiled a single card from it. And let me just go ahead and pull that up. A lot of people had been speculating about different things, you know, were they going to have Tarmogoyf in Origins, were they going to have, you know, the other fetch lands, yada yada, were they going to have legendary... Because the whole story for Origins is you find out the origins of 5 planeswalkers. And
when they get their spark and go from just simple people to... finding their spark and being able to walk the plains and be planeswalkers.
Exactly. So you were going to see them pre-spark and then post-spark. So people were guessing maybe they were going to be flip cards, and you flip them into a planeswalker. And guess what? They're fucking right. So they spoiled Liliana. So here we go. Liliana, heretical.
This guy, I can't say
Heretical. Liliana, heretical healer. For 1 black. Legendary creature, human cleric. Has lifelink, and she's a 2/2. I think.
2/3, I think.
2/3, the toughness is blocked. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, exile Liliana, then return her to the battlefield transformed under her owner's control. If you do, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. And when she comes back, she's a motherfucking planeswalker with 3 loyalty. Her first ability is +2. Each player discards a card. -X, return target non-legendary creature card with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. And the -8, you get an emblem with. Whenever a creature dies, return it to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step. So just the idea of having creatures turn into planeswalkers is fucking amazing.
It is. And
also, guess what? Another way to have your commander be a planeswalker, because she is a legendary creature. So
look at you.
Yeah.
Going outside the lines.
Well, I listen to podcasts and they think of things and then I repeat them.
And sound smarter.
Yep, exactly. Now the secret's out.
Edit that out.
But I'm already brewing for this card. I think she's awesome.
Are we hoping that there's going to be one of each?
Oh, there's definitely going to be
one of flip?
Each. There's going to be one of each for every color. So there's going to be an Ajani, a Nissa, a Chandra, and a Gideon. So one for each color, and of course Liliana. So I'm super stoked.
I'm pretty sure Jace is in there.
And Jace. Who could forget that fuck?
Yeah, I'm like, dude.
So, I mean...
We're supposed to finally find out where Jace is from with his whole backstory, because apparently nobody knows yet.
Yeah, I mean, some of these people... Apparently it just came out that Gideon's home plane was Theros, which I feel is kind of a big fat cop-out. I don't know why.
I did hear something, little Jace's lower corner over here. That the zombie that comes out from Liliana is supposed to be like her deceased brother. Did you hear about that?
No, I did
That there was
not.
something, she was trying to heal him, some kind of thing back from the dead or something like that, and then it all went wrong, and that's when she changed.
Oh, man, and now
And
she
so-
can do alchemy without drawing a circle?
Pretty much.
Oh, wait, this is the wrong
Wrong thing.
storyline.
Wrong thing. So that's my understanding is that that's the dead brother. That's why the 2/2 zombie comes out when she flips, because that's part of the cycle.
Huh.
Part of
That's
the lore.
pretty cool.
Look at that.
I mean, that
Look
does
at me.
make
Look at
sense.
me.
Look at you knowing
Yeah,
things and
Mister,
stuff.
I don't give a shit about the lore.
I do not.
Okay, you've
I-
heard
but I-
more than I have on it.
Gotta
That's
teach-
pretty. That's
teach you
pretty
guys.
cool. I like that.
Nice.
I like that. A
I
lot
mean-
of flavor.
You guys like that flip card idea thing? Because they did it in Innistrad, but obviously not with
Planeswalker to Planeswalker, not the other way. So
Yeah. So
I think it's gonna be easier to kill them off as a creature, but it's
Before they
exciting.
flip?
Yeah, one lightning strike and they're done.
yeah.
But, at least Liliana had that 3 toughness. But
Right.
it's interesting.
I think it's sweet.
Yeah.
I think it's real sweet.
And also, I mean, from a lore perspective, this is Boner
Oh, yeah.
City.
Yeah, that's pretty
because
cool.
I've read some of the books, and Jace is a main player in the books, and then there's a story about Chandra and Gideon, and of course Liliana is always in there, and Nissa hasn't been mentioned, or at least in the books I've read, she hasn't been mentioned. So anyways, I'm going to be excited. Hopefully they'll come out with like a book or like a compilation of short stories and be able to get down on that. So, I mean, that's all they spoiled from, PAX. Oh, wait, that's not all they spoiled.
Oh, we finally to the spoilers that matter right now?
No, we're not. We are not even close. We're going even farther in the future. Past Modern Masters
Oh, I forgot about
2015.
this.
Jumping over Origins and leapfrogging right into the set that comes after Origins. Motherfucking Battle of Zendikar. We are going back to Zendikar, which means more than fucking likely they're going to have the Zendikar fetch lands and all the sweet things that come with Zendikar.
And
I'm hoping the full art Zendikar lands,
is
yeah.
coming back.
Full
too.
art lands
Got
and
it, right?
hopefully
I
some
got it.
landfall and all
Yeah,
the
landfall
fun,
for sure.
all the fun
Landfall is.
things.
I'm calling that right now. That is guaranteed to come back.
I
Absolutely.
am a big fan of that mechanic. Every card I've played with it, it's just fun.
Yeah, it does a lot of work. When things happen like so easily,
Yeah.
can't counter a land. Shit happens, damn it.
At this point, knowing that that's coming out, I've probably bought enough of the original Zendikar full art lands. I should not buy anymore, but they're awesome. I love them, so I really hope they do the full art
Yeah.
lands again.
And you can't respond to landfall either. Like there's no the other person doesn't have priority. You play a land and that thing happens.
I mean,
like,
you can do it on their upkeep. You can like remove the creature from their upkeep. but
right.
Once
But
the
I'm saying,
land hits,
once
yeah.
the land hits, like there's no like priority in a land. It's just like you played a land.
Yeah, you can
Landfall
kill the
happens.
creature, still get the trigger.
Yeah, still get the trigger. So
So I'm
Pretty sick.
super stoked on that. I mean, that's pretty much all they said about it. It is, although, by the way, Magic Origins is released on July 17th. And then,
It's really that quick? Wow.
I think it's September, end of September.
It's got the next
I think
rotation.
it's the
so
beginning of October. Battle for Zendikar will feature 274 cards and will be released on October 2nd.
Okay, sweet.
So,
Looking forward to it.
I mean, that's awesome. And I think we can just wrap
Light a
things up
crystal
with the
ball.
spoilers. Oh, no. We're going back in time. That's right. I said it. Dragons of Tarkir. They put out some more spoilers. I mean, I was at work. Like, no one, like, I had to do absolutely nothing for like an hour and a half. So I was just sitting in the back fucking looking at Twitter and looking at all these things
Waiting,
coming
yeah,
out.
exactly.
And just, I felt...
creaming your panties.
No, the only, like, analog I can make to it is that I felt like I was at a Dennings parking lot at like 2 o'clock in the morning waiting for a drug deal to go down. Like I was all anxious and giddy and I couldn't wait to get more.
And in the meantime, you're eating pancakes.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you switch Denny's with Jack in the Box, I used to do that all the time.
Yeah, Dennings, Jack in the Box, whatever it was.
Sure, that's my dealer.
So pretty much we got a bunch more spoilers from Dragons of Tarkir. So I'm tired of fucking hearing myself talk, so why don't you guys take it away and talk about some of the cards you're excited about.
So it's Thursday, the 12th, and there are 128 cards so far spoiled of like the 270 or whatever there is.
So pretty much all of them.
We're getting a lot of like the rares, mythic rares, all that shit's out of the way, which is the best. And now like the best next week or whatever, then we're gonna get fucking the rest of it, and it'll be limited play stuff basically. So I'm gonna save this one for you, but for Knife City because he wants to talk about that. But Ultimate Price, right? Ultimate Price.
No, I was not a fan of that card in the last.
Really?
Game. Yeah.
Oh no, Ultimate Price is sweet.
I didn't like it,
Sweet
and
card.
in the standard,
Since he
it's-
doesn't want to talk about what is Ultimate Price.
Ultimate Price is a very simple removal spell. It is 1 in a black, instant speed, destroy target monocolored creature. And I still feel there's like a lot of monocolored creatures that you want to kill. So
I mean, definitely like sideboard material.
Yes. In this meta, yeah, sideboard. But like a really good sideboard card.
You know what I'm actually excited to talk about is the new art on Duress.
That's where I was getting to right now. And real quick before we go into that, I gotta say, Reed Duke's probably a pretty happy man right now. I say that because he had an interview during GP Miami, and they asked him, and the other guy was sitting there like, what card would you, like, what do you want back right now to play with in this current standard? And he goes, oh, Duress. Instantly he said Duress. I'm like, fucking, you called it, bud. There you go. And
Boom.
Killer fucking artwork. This whole set's got a shit ton of cool artwork, and this one's gotta be probably the best one.
The best Duress for sure. I mean, Duress
Damn, that's cool.
always kind of had. I mean, the art was all right. You know, I enjoyed like the original art, but I think this one's the best. And also with Duress coming back, I think I have to dethrone you when it comes to the Waste Not deck. I'm going to put my discard pants on and do some work. I feel like there's enough coming out in Dragons of Tarkir to where I really want to brew with it.
So I guess we're going to have some Waste Not versus Waste Not games.
So look forward to those boring-ass videos.
Yeah, really.
But take it away, guys. What do you want to talk about?
Well, the ones I have on my list here is Damnable Pact. It's another sweet fucking artwork with Salumgar in there, and it's 2 black and X. It's a sorcery. Target player draws X cards and loses X life. We all know that almost all black card draw comes with a price. You gotta hurt yourself kind of thing. But this thing, I don't know, I find it pretty fucking sweet. As far as like mid game, you get to refill your hand, lose a couple life, whatever. Late game, you can sit there and you got enough mana or whatever, you just frickin' make them draw the cards and lose the life.
Right.
And it becomes a black burn spell.
It's the first one that says target player draws X cards.
Yeah,
there's a million of them that say, you draw X cards, lose X life, or whatever. They all have stipulations also. They all have like, you have to exile certain cards from your graveyard, or they have to, how many creatures you control, or like, I don't even know. There's like always like some other text on there if it says X on it. There has been like target player draws 2 cards and 2 life, but it's not X. It's just 2.
X.
So this is the first that just has this really open target player draws X cards and loses X life. This hasn't happened yet in black.
Personally, I'm pretty fucking excited about that card. I think it could be a real thing. Right there.
Yeah, that's gonna be
pretty
fucking sweet. So I'm excited about that one as well. Let's see here, something sweet. Well, I want to go through like the commands. Command cards are gonna be just why not play them? They're so powerful. They're so versatile. Most of them are really cheap.
We talked about the first 2 already last week.
We talked about the first 2, right?
It's blue, white, and green, red. So the next 3 what we can talk about.
So we got Dramoka's Command. Choose 2. It's for green and a white. So 2 mana instant speed card. Choose 2. Prevent all damage. Target instant or sorcery spell will deal this turn. Target player sacrifices an enchantment. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Or target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. So this just for 2 mana, instant speed, like it doesn't matter what the board is doing, in a sense. You're going to be able to use this card. If the board has specific things going on, like they have an enchantment that's a dickhead, then you can play that on it and then just go ahead and put a counter on something. Or you can remove, you can ignore their burn spell, you can prevent the damage from it, and then have target creature you control fight their little red guy.
I think
there's just so much shit going on.
I think it's weird that the fight mechanic is on a green-white card and not a green-red card, because that's generally like green-red rule territory. But it's on the green-white one, so I mean that's aight.
It's like, so they all the commands have 2 colors. And there's four things to choose from. 2 of them are always green, or 2 of them are one color, and 2 of them are the other color.
Right.
So in this case, the white is the first 2 and green is the second 2. Is really what it is. But yeah, I can see what you're going with that. Yeah.
It's like a cheaper Hunt the Week without the pump on it, but it also does 3 other things.
Yeah, so or you can pump it with.
Well, it does have the pump too as well.
It has the pump too.
You choose 2.
You choose 2.
Oh, you choose 2. Hell yeah!
It's like
that's a Hunt the Week then for less mana.
For instant speed, I mean, like it's crazy. So we have that one. Then we had what's another one of these bad boys? We had. I'm trying to find it. Where the fuck are you?
Did you see what happened to Meandering Tower Shell?
Well, that was one of my flavored ones too. Like it's a better card than its fucking like mythic rare one.
So Meandering Tower Shell, went to the future, stepped on a butterfly, came back, and he is Wandering Tower Shell for 3 and a black.
No. Wandering Tomb Shell.
Tomb Shell. Wandering Tomb Shell for 3 and a black. He's a zombie turtle. And he's just He's just a 1/6.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's it.
Flavor text.
The best.
Which I think is actually alright.
For limited play, why the hell not?
For the butt fight card, too.
And butt fight. Oh, yeah.
Butt
Like
fight?
green-black. Yeah, absolutely. So another one we got, Kolagon's Command. It is 1 black and red, so 3 mana instant. Choose 2, of course. Return target creature card from graveyard to your hand. Sweet. Target player discards a card. Sweet. Destroy target artifact. Not so relevant right now, I don't think, but could be.
It's better.
And then this command does 2 damage to a creature or player. So right off the bat, once again, you can return the card you want and do 2 damage to the creature or player, or you can have them discard their last card, like hold this thing out, and you can discard the card that you know is going to fuck up your game and return the target creature card from your graveyard that's going to fuck up their game, all for 3 mana at instant speed. So once again, a really, really good card that I don't see how it's not going to see play in some deck. I mean, it's these things are bonkers, man.
How pissed are you guys that there's no like low casting cost dragons?
There is one. That's what the thing.
Well, I mean, like they're all 95% of them are like 5 mana or more.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not pissed. So it makes sense. They're making a set that has a shit ton of fucking dragons, which is cool for the whole everybody loving dragons kind of thing. But you don't want to step away from the game has always been, and dragons have always been expensive.
Yeah,
So making a freaking a 1 red dragon that's a 2/2 flying dragon, I mean, that's just it changes the style of dragon.
They put out little dragons like a 1/1 flyer
super weak, though.
that can pump or fire breathing, and then there's the dragon
little broodlings, little fucking
dragon
baby
shell or dragon egg. When it dies, you put a 2/2 with fire breathing.
Yeah, those suck.
Yeah, I mean they suck. But I mean, like, there's ways to get like early dragons in to where you can get the benefit from when you drop the big ones in later.
But I think there's just so many insane benefits from the amount of dragons that are big later on. That to do that, to cheat in those super freaking benefits would just be. It makes every deck play dragons only at that point. Like it's just there's so much.
I just wanted to see one baby dragon.
Well, the one that really one of the most cards I'm excited about right now. I mean, is that 4/4 dragon.
The red,
the red one. I mean,
yeah,
the regent or whatever. The thing is 4 mana for a 4/4. When a dragon is targeted, does 3 damage to that the opponent, whatever the one that casts the spell.
Yeah, I agree. That card is pretty damn fucking good.
Yeah.
So
okay, there's the last one that I'm not so keen on, but hey, maybe you guys are gonna be loving it. Solomgar's Command. Solomgar, choose 2.
Yeah, we talked about this one last week.
Did we?
Yeah.
no, look at the dates. I think we talked about like no, I don't think so.
I thought we did Tarkas and whatever.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll talk about it again.
Yeah,
That's what's
if
happening.
you look at the dates, it's actually the day after, I believe.
And it might be. Who knows? I'm going to talk about it again, though. It's 5 mana for an instant. It's too high. It's just too high for this kind of card. But anyways, choose 2. Counter target non-creature spell. Return target permanent to its owner's hand. Target creature gets -3/-3. Destroy target planeswalker. So, fine. I don't have much to say about it. I just think it's not the best.
I think it's a really good card, but the 5 mana is quite prohibitive.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it looks like a fucking like control deck card.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
it's a tool for the blue-black deck, which I don't really think they need, because although you can choose 2, it seems like it's very situational. So counter target non-creature spell. All right, like...
So you have to play it then when you counter it.
So you have to keep 5 mana open to counter it.
And then you have to choose one of those things on the spot, which maybe you don't have the other thing available. Maybe
return target permanent to its owner's hand. That's okay. It's tempo, You counter and then bounce. Not too bad. Target creature gets -3/-3. By the time you have 5 mana, like -3/-3 isn't going to do too much. And destroy target planeswalker. What if they don't fucking play any planeswalkers?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a 1 of at best, or like a 2 of in the sideboard. I mean, it feels like one of the most powerful ones, but at 5,
I was gonna say, it's just too expensive. Like that should be like 4 mana maybe. Or at 5, at least make the target creature gets -3/-3 into all creatures with that name. Make it a Bile-Blight for that point. At 5 mana, I mean that's pretty fucking expensive. I mean we're seeing other commands and how expensive this one is. I don't think it's that much better than the other commands.
Even if it said
that much more mana.
Even if it said Bile-Blight, basically, I'd be like, yeah, that's not even that much better. Even though I agree, it should have
it. Would be better though because you play against token deck, and at that point you're trying to hold on.
Yeah.
It just at 5 mana, it should have something more than what it has.
Yeah.
It should make you breakfast.
They should. The only 2 I'm excited about really are the 2 mana ones, the white green and the red green.
Oh, you were all about the fucking blue white one before.
Oh, okay. I am very excited about that, but I don't know. The other 2 are just like off the charts powerful.
It was probably more exciting because that was the first command this year.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, it's so sick. And then the other 2 came out. I'm like, whoa, those are way cheap, and they will do something every time. Like they don't have stipulations like those. So, what else you guys got?
That new one that came out today, Myth Realized. I think that's kind of an exciting card to me. I mean, it's an enchantment that Myth Realized, 1 white enchantment. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a lore counter on Myth Realized. And it also has pay 2 and a white, put a lore counter on Myth Realized. And then it says, for 1 white, until end of turn, Myth Realized becomes a monk avatar creature. In addition to its other types and gains, this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of lore counters on it. I mean,
I think
you drop that turn 1, it just sits there. You build it up, and by freaking whatever turn, it's a 6/6, and you can turn it on whenever you want to or need to.
I think sided against control, this is a sweet card.
Mm-hmm.
I think otherwise, playing as a main deck card for whatever white is doing, I'm not sold on it at all. I just think that if it can be played against sweepers because it won't be hit by them ever. And it goes back to being an enchantment, so anyways, just avoid sweepers. It's their form of like dash or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think it's like the end-all be-all fantastic card. I just find it interesting because for me, in my limited playtime, I haven't seen an enchantment be able to become a creature like that. Like other than obviously Theros block enchantment creatures, but I mean a literal board enchantment gets pumped up and you can turn it into a creature whenever you want to. For only one white mana.
It's a 1-mana enchantment. You can't go wrong with something that's just one white mana. And when you play non-creature spells, it just happens to gain counters. Like, it's just doing... You don't have to do shit for it to just go ahead and become value eventually.
I feel like this is a good turn 1 for, like, the white-blue control deck or the blue-white X control deck.
You look for a Pearl White to be their end game.
So there you go.
So it's a hard...
It's a control card no matter against or played as.
Right. And, I mean, some people are talking about, like, is it legacy playable and this and that? We don't fucking know. But I think there's, like, a blue-white control deck out there to be made, and somebody's going to do it, and this might be in it, you know?
Yeah,
or at least a sideboard against the mirror, or, like, something like that. I don't know.
No, it's true. As far as what, like, Delver is or something like that, you want it to turn into a 3/2, so you're just looking for something really cheap that becomes powerful and just does a little bit of beatdown, and this kind of falls under that. You can play this, and then Cataxian Probe or whatever, and then it gets a counter, and then you can play your Brainstorm and your whatever else, and it gets more counters, and then by turn 3, you're attacking with 4, and it avoids anything besides, the instant speed removal. So you're right, it could see older play like that. It really could.
The other thing I really like is I feel like cards like this or similar to this where, some crazy thing happens or it turns into a creature, this or that, it usually costs like 3, 4, 5 mana to activate. It's 1 white again to turn it into a creature. It means by the time you actually really care about playing this, it doesn't affect what else you want to do in your turn. You get to activate this and still do whatever else you want to do that turn. It doesn't take up your turn to make this a creature.
Yep, and you can leave back like counter mana and that for 3 or 4. It's like not that expensive, like you said. So
I think it's actually pretty decent.
So what about this? Sarkhan's Triumph. Instant for 3, 2 and a red. Search the library for a dragon creature card, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your library.
Nah.
You guys don't think so?
Nah.
I like it.
I mean, for 3 mana...
I think
take your turn. I think if you're playing enough dragons, why not just play enough dragons to find the dragons? Why?
I'm not really even saying too much into standard. I am thinking more into commander.
Okay, well then but I just don't really see it standard wise.
Commander definitely. If you've got a fucking dragon commander deck, which I might build one because I just pulled a million fucking dragons.
Plus all the dragons are coming out, you may as well make one.
Yeah, they're all going to be cheap. Dragons are always going to be cheap.
Yeah,
the ones like these,
So. But for like casual formats, but for standard, no. I mean, there's going to be an F&M dragon deck, but I don't think it's going to see like any competitive play.
Fair enough. What else you guys got?
So I mean, let's just put our dick on the table and talk about it. Sarkhan Unbroken for 2 green, blue, and a red for a 4 loyalty planeswalker +1. Draw a card, then add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So drawing the card for a +1 is a very popular ability, and if you can get this motherfucker to survive to the next turn, you get some ramp and draw another card. That's quite powerful. And he also has that kind of Sorin ability where the -2 is put a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying onto the battlefield. So if you play it into an open board, you can minus it and have him try and defend himself. And then the -8 is search your library for any number of dragon creature cards and put them onto the library and shuffle
onto the battlefield.
Yeah.
Put them on your library.
Yeah,
put them
on
go ahead.
Shuffle that library.
As many as you want, just put them on there. Put them onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. So I think the most important is the +1 and -2. Once again, with most planeswalkers, I don't really give a shit about their ultimate. If I get there, half the time I don't even ult them. But with this card, I was actually thinking about splashing some red into my Sultai Planeswalker deck just for him. Because I think the draw one and add a mana of any color is super relevant.
The only thing I mean, that you talked about Sorin, the -2 for be able to protect yourself with that vampire. Right. Obviously, a 4/4 is way better at that point. The thing I don't like about this card, because it is good, is you have to play Teamer to play it. Like that, I wish it was one less color so it'd be more versatile in that fact. Because otherwise, you have to play Teamer to play this card. Other than splashing red for the Soul type, but realistically, when you're building a deck like this, you're building a Teamer Dragon deck.
Yeah, we haven't seen a 3-color Planeswalker in a while.
Yeah, I don't like that. It's too specific. It gives you less chance for a vast amount of people to play it. It just makes it so much more difficult to actually play. I mean, I feel like almost Teamer was, as far as the 5 clans, the shittiest for people to play. People played it like the least comparatively to other clans, to other cons. That they're like, oh well, we're gonna make Sarkhan Teamer colors. Everybody has to play Teamer now if they want to play it. I don't like that fact. I wish it was just 2 colors.
Well, it is powerful, though.
It is.
It's powerful, and, I mean, just not even thinking about, like, for this standard, it might see play in, like, Commander or other, such formats. I mean, 5 mana for a Planeswalker doesn't see too much play in, like, Eternal formats too much. But, I think he's good. I think somebody's going to do something with him. I think Teamer's almost there. You know what I mean? Like, it's not there even right now. It's like a tier 3 sort of deck, and this might help kind of pump it up to tier 2, tier 1.5. I don't see Teamer really going over the top anytime soon, though.
For casual stuff, I like that. So the -2, and bring out 4/4 Dragon. So it's 4/4 Dragon. That's sweet.
Hey, you can finally do something with Raging Gumby's tokens.
They can do that. Yeah. No shit. How did they know that was going to come out?
Yeah, they knew.
So they have that, and then all the other dragons have, like, they give bonuses to the other dragons. So, like, when a 4/4 comes out, something happens. So, like, for casual play, I think that's really fun that it is a dragon, and you can just do a bunch of crazy shit with it. It's like the 2/2 vampire from Sorin doesn't have anything extra with it because there's not a lot of, like, vampire interaction besides modern casual stuff. So I think it's pretty exciting to have. You'd be able to make just -2, make 2 4/4 dragons. I think that's fucking sweet.
They should be in your collection.
What are you guys doing? What's going on here?
I don't know why it's having a broken situation, but this should still be in your collection, so hopefully you'll be able to go through and find
fucking
out.
bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's up with that.
Does Wizards of the Coast get a hold of this? Are they coding it? Anyways, we'll edit that out.
We just killed the flow, too.
I know, I got scared for a second there.
Bastards.
But I do agree that part's pretty sweet with the whole, they popping out a dragon. That'll also help the formidable mechanic, because that's 4 power right there. And it'll help with ferocious things while that's still in standard as well. There's definitely good things about this card. I just really dislike the fact that it's so specific to what you can play with it.
Yeah, right.
You put 2 colors on there, it can fit into way more decks. I mean, Sorin can fit into Abzan. Sorin can fit into Mardu. I mean, Sorin can fit into Warriors. I mean, to make it 3 colors, that just sucks, man.
I feel you. I feel your pain. So, what about Assault Formation? 1 and a green, enchantment. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power.
Let's let Knife take this one.
Yeah, really.
So, I mean, this is like a useless card. When you get it, you're probably just going to rip it up, throw it in the trash, give it to the fucking 8-year-old kid who just is happy to get any magic cards. But when I saw this card, of course, every time I see any card, I go, how can this help me mill? And so there's that Phoenix Mill deck, or the Big Booty Mill, and basically you just get a whole bunch of defenders, and then you try and make the game go long so you can get Phoenix out, the god, and then you can start tapping your dudes to mill them out. And so Fate Reforged gave us a couple tools. There's a nice little the Flying Defender that morphs. The Butt Fight card, and then this card to where, I mean, you can play turn 1 Disowned Ancestor, which is the 0/4 for a black, and then play this card turn 2, and you're swinging in for 4 on turn 2. I mean, So, I mean, that's not even like mill strategy. That's just like efficiency, you know? But when I saw the card, I just, you know, being able to defend and have your... being able to not take damage so your defenders can block is great. But if you're able to actually, like, trade or kill their dudes when they attack in, that's fucking wonderful.
Yeah.
The other thing to that fact is, you know, you're playing defenders and walls for that matter.
Right.
It also has on this card, pay 1 green, target creature with defender can attack this turn.
Exactly.
I mean, dude, it's built in for what you're trying to talk about.
So that's almost like plan B for the big booty mill, is being able to attack in with a bunch of hefty booty dudes.
But that's kind of your problem, though, when you played that, though, is you only had one plan. That was a try to mill, and if you didn't get those cold pieces, it was worthless.
Exactly.
Now, this gives you a plan B.
But now your 07 is like a 7/7, basically.
Exactly, and that was one of the things, like you were saying, that I was able to get out all the mana I need, all the defenders I need, all the tempo and removal, but I just could not fucking get to a Phoenix to save my life half the games. And so adding this card into the mix gives me that plan B. And this isn't going to be a great deck. This is going to be a tier 3, tier 15 fucking deck. And I'm going to have fun, and it's going to piss you guys off, and I'm going to make some people rage quit on Moto. And that's about it. But I think it's going to give me that extra reach to where I actually want to put in the effort to make a deck out of it and play it.
Dude, I will say, though, if I get this in a first pack for a draft, I will try to make this work. It just sounds fun.
It'll throw them off so bad.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They'd be like, oh,
Dude,
my God.
Wandering Tomb Shell was already way better than the Meandering Tower Shell. Now it's badass
Now
with
it's
this
a
card.
6/6, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some ridiculous stuff going on with that card. I mean, yeah, it is, like, silly, but that's okay. It's just like Waste Not or, like, whatever else. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's not going to win the tournaments, but it's, like, fun. You build a deck around it, and it
My
just seems
Villain
like
as well
fun.
deck, same thing. It's just want to have fun with it, right?
What about Haven of the Spirit Dragon? The land.
Oh,
Good land.
yes. Talk about that.
Right? So, tap. Add 1 colorless to your mana pool. Who gives a shit? Tap. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to cast a dragon creature spell.
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I still think it's cool.
I mean, that's actually better than the previous land.
Oh, yeah,
we
way
got.
better.
With all the dragons in the set, I think that's very relevant.
Yeah, I think it's relevant.
I think
The
it's
last
relevant.
one was
it's
horrible.
not
This
legendary
actually has
either.
a thing.
I think it's relevant for limited, especially. And it's not legendary, you're right. I think if you're building a dragon deck and constructed, sure, dragons aren't going to be that great. But if you get this in limited because of how many fucking dragons there are, this is going to be your key to making
Right.
that dragon deck work. In
Another
limited.
thing, so the last part of it is pay 2, tap, sacrifice Haven of the Spirit Dragon, return target dragon creature card or Ugin Planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand.
Well, hello there, Ugin.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello.
So it is, I mean, for a dragon tribal thing, you return a dragon creature card. That might be super relevant after you have enough mana and you don't care about that anymore. Also, it says Ugin Planeswalker card, not specifically this Ugin Planeswalker card.
Ah.
So that just means that when the next set comes out,
fucking nice catch.
there's gonna
did
be-
You did you hear that on a podcast?
no, I don't
Repeat
listen to
it?
any podcasts.
Oh man.
There's got to be another Ugin, right? Kind of. I mean, maybe. They probably wouldn't say, even if it wasn't coming out, that it would be. They probably wouldn't say the whole name. But still, there's only one Ugin. I'm thinking eventually there's going to be another Ugin.
Probably.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. There's no reason not to say. I mean, besides saving a line of text, which it looks like they were running out of room, but still, they would just put the name of the fucking Planeswalker.
I mean, who knows? Who knows, though?
But I mean, at this point, like it's not going to be a different set besides this one because this is the last of the block. So are you talking about Ugin that's a common that they haven't spoiled yet kind of a thing?
No.
'Cause otherwise-
Like in the future set. So, like, this
like
set.
in 3 years from now.
This set
okay.
and Origins.
Okay, just leave it open. Okay.
Yeah, this set and Origins are going to rotate together. So, like, Cons and the other one are going to rotate out. So, this is going to be around for Zendikar and the next one after that. So, you know, once that one comes out, they're going to
Gotcha.
have all of those 6, whatever. So, we have, like, a year and a half, basically, or something like that, to see if this will come into fruition and become and, you know, get another Ugin card out. I'm not even sure what the hell else it would be, because would they make, like, Ugin cheaper? Of a, you know, like a less powerful Ugin, or like would they have like a same thing? I have no idea like what Ugin would be, because if they have like an Ugin for 8 mana and then like an Ugin for 6 mana or like whatever, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But
Yeah, I guess
still,
we'll just have to wait and see. But that is a
I
big
like the
catch.
theorizing on it. I just don't see that becoming a real thing.
Hey, do you think in your Waste Not deck you'd throw one of these in there?
I was about to say the same thing because I play Salumgar in there,
Yeah.
and the fact that Ugin is is in there and I play Rakshasa Secret, so sometimes I'll mill my own Ugin out. Or if I get thought seized with the Ugin and rid of, or different situations happen. Yeah, there's been several times my Ugin ends up, or to the fact is Dark Deal, I put my own Ugin in the graveyard, and on like turn 3, I'm like, fuck, there goes Ugin. Hopefully I find my other one later on. I find this land, that's another way to get Ugin back.
Now,
so
also,
this is going to go one of in there.
Killing Silumgar once can happen. Killing Silumgar twice, that's going to be a pain in the ass. That's like you already put your eggs in one basket for that one kill. How the hell are you going to get a hexproof 3/7 off the battlefield again?
Yeah.
You know?
True.
It's going to be real hard. So this is a really good thing for that, too, besides just getting Ugin back. It might be a ton of value just getting Silumgar back.
In my Walker's deck, I might throw one of them in there just already, like the mana is pretty intense, you know?
Yeah, it might not be good for 3 colors.
Because I'm running 3 colors.
2 colors might be sweet, though.
But I think just throwing one of these in there as a failsafe, I might try it out.
So I was playing a 1-of Radiant Fountain just for a little bit of extra life gain. I'll probably just dump that and throw a Haven and Spear Dragon in there for it.
I like it.
Because of that bonus to it, you know?
Boom shakalaka.
You know, I'm never going to have issues of blue and black problems by the time I get to Silumgar cost. So that part doesn't matter to me. Just getting it back. It's pretty sweet.
So other fun stuff. Blue players got an instant for 6 that draws 4 cards.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys about that once you think about it.
I mean, they've always been played, like, even for 6 mana, I think that drawing 4 cards is relevant enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'll see play somewhere. It might be kind of hard right now because in Standard itself, there are, Treasure Cruise and Dig Through Time. That's kind of like flooding that market up and there's value. But I just think that somehow this is going to see play somewhere. I don't know. I feel like just drawing cards instant speed, it always sees play. So.
By the way, the card's name is Dragon Lord's Prerogative.
Which one's that?
The word you're talking about right now.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Dragon Lord's Prerogative.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty cool artwork on that one, too.
Yeah, that one's nice. So, I don't know. I don't know how... It's not too strong, because it's fucking 6 mana, but card draw instant speed, once again, always sees play. I mean, I play I have like a red-blue control deck, and I play Jace's Ingenuity, which is draw 3 for 5 at instant... draw 3 for 5 at instant speed, so I would throw one of those in there, I guess. Why not,
So, I did have a question to you guys, because... I feel like, you go playing through cons and they have all the banners, the artifact banners for each con.
Yeah.
And it's shit. Obviously you're never going to play that in standard play.
No, it's only limited.
Even for limited, you don't really want to play that card.
It's like if you didn't draw enough mana fixing during the draft, then you have to play that.
Even then, you're still iffy about playing.
I don't think you even mainboard it.
Yeah, it's very rarely played. You don't want to do it. But my point, what I'm getting at, though, is the monuments. There is a cycle of monuments, each being... basically a statue to the Dragon Lord of the Brood. So each one has a Tarka monument, Kolagon monument, Silumgar, and so on. I kind of feel like for limited play, these are 1,000 times better than the banners.
For limited play, like this is a done deal. Absolutely.
Exactly, because for 3, you get to play it and you can tap whatever, like say a Tarka's monument. Tap 3, pay 3. You can tap it to add a red or green mana to your mana pool. And then late game, instead of sacking a banner to draw a card, late game you get a 6 mana, it's 4 and a red and a green. A Tarka's Monument becomes a 4/4 red-green dragon artifact creature with flying until end of turn.
I mean, I don't see why this would not be a 1-of in every single limited deck.
That's what I'm getting at.
These remind me of the ones from Return to Ravnica, where you could turn it into an unblockable dude, a hexproof dude.
Yeah, just depending on what their flavor was for the color, then you have that.
Mm-hmm.
So we've seen most of the cards for dragons. Do you think this is because the drafting format is going to be 1 Fate, 2 Dragon packs? Do you think this is going to slow down the format to where you're going to be able to play those big bombs, those big dragons reliably, and there's not going to be like so many goddamn aggro decks out there to get you?
I think yes and no. I mean, with cons, it was a very slow format. All the 3 colors, everyone wanted to play 3 colors and all that jazz, so it became a slower format for limited.
Right.
And then people started realizing, okay, everybody's going slower because they want to play these big cards, so I'm going to go 2 colors and try to go aggro at them, and that really got enhanced with Fate Reforged. So things are a lot faster at the moment. I do think with the fact that there's so many dragons you're going to be pulling from packs, that things are, even though they're going to be mostly a lot of 2-color situations, it is going to turn into a slower format because people are going to go, look at all these dragons I got. I just got to defend or slow down from the beginning and get to the big dragons. So I do think it's going to be slower compared to right now.
What's up?
Did you draft a lot of M14?
I don't remember. I mean, I know I did. We did a little bit. That was like our first time drafting, actually.
Yeah,
M14 and all that
because
stuff.
when I got on Moto around M14, and I just went crazy. I went nuts. And it was like such a vanilla fucking set, too. I must have did like 60 drafts or something of M14. And so a lot of people said, and I also realize, so M14 is super slow. Like from what I hear, it's one of the slowest formats there was in a while. And so I was going to ask you if you thought this was going to be faster, slower, or just as slow as M14.
That's kind of a tough question. I would say, man, that's tough. I say it has to be slower. I guess I think it has to.
Really?
Be. Yeah.
Really?
Or the same. But yeah, there are way too many spells that are heavily costed. Like there are just a ton of cards that are 5 mana and up in this set, and you're gonna have to draft some of them, and it's gonna force your deck to have. It's just gonna be heavy in that way, man. A lot of the stuff is like the low stuff is just like tricks and cards that are very specific. Like they have those new set of cards that like only target 2 other colors. Like it's like a green card that only targets blue and black permanents or something like that. They have those cards out.
Yeah.
So I think we have to see all the rest of the cards really, because I think that those are going to be the lowest cost. But all the rares in this set are all high.
Yeah, because right now we're seeing most of the rares and uncommons and mythics. So we're not seeing a bunch of the commons. And so like you said, that's going to really dictate the pace of the format.
There actually is a cycle or so of lower costed rares. Like the Dragon Den dude, there's a green one, there's a blue one, the blue flyer that exiles itself to come back to its own regeneration kind of thing. So there are different things to it.
Yeah, there are a few.
You know, I mean, obviously there's going to be different differentials.
Yeah.
Like, and based on what we're talking about right now, I think I theorize that it's going to be a slower format. People are going to play their big dragons. So one of the things I'm already signed up for the pre-release at Villain's Lair at the midnight release. And I chose the Kolagon Brood in the hopes that I draw a lot of low, like the really cool freaking 1-drop red dudes. What's that one? The Thunder Kite, whatever one where it has fire breathing and dash and shit.
Right.
So at least for that opening midnight one, I'm going to try to draft a red-black come at your low-end face kind of thing.
People want to play around, you'll probably do really well.
People want to play dragons. I'm hoping to do well at that and go, okay, play with your big dragons. I'm trying to kill you before you get there.
And so just to put it out there, you know what? We started this podcast for novices, and I think sometimes we get away from that in just what we think is interesting. But just to point it out, limited means draft, so where you get 3 booster packs and pass them around, or sealed, where you get 6 booster packs and you just open them all up. They're all to yourself. And then you build a deck out of those cards. So
40-card decks for limited.
Exactly.
It's limited to the cards given at that moment. There is nothing that you bring from home or none of that fun stuff.
Right. So, and even like drafting and sealed are 2 different beasts. Mm-hmm. Because when you're playing sealed, it's definitely slower because you can't pick and choose what you want to play. And sometimes you have to go kind of wide on your choices. Whereas draft, you can really build up a specific deck.
You can try to until someone else is going for the same thing.
You can try to, but more often than not, you can, somewhat accomplish what you're set out to do. So just putting that out there. I was actually thinking that the other day. I was like, man, dude, are we talking over people's heads? Because I thought that was really shitty when I first started listening to podcasts or watching videos, and they're like talking about shit I have no idea about.
Well, hey, we finally found the one thing that Peppermint Swirl brings to this cast, bringing us back down to earth for the
Nubians.
The Nubians and the guys that don't know.
Screw you guys.
What is limited, he writes, on Noob's Knowledge?
I wrote, what the fuck is that?
So limited bomb, roast, 1 in a red, sorcery, roast deals 5 damage to target creature without flying.
Yeah, that's...
Fucking bomb and a half. Pull that shit.
What?
You don't think so?
No, I just didn't see that card.
Oh, I was going to say, dude, that's
it's
great removal.
It's not for dragons, but it's everything. It'll kill everything else.
Except for the
How much
Wandering
does it
Tomb
cost?
Shell. Except for the
one in a
Wandering
red.
Tomb Shell.
One in a red?
It's a sorcery, but 1 in a red, yeah.
Son of a
It's a
bitch.
pain in the ass.
Hey, draft that Wandering Tomb Shell. You'll be fine.
Oh, dude,
So-
I'm drafting fucking obnoxious decks.
So here's another one I want to talk about. We maybe mentioned last time, probably not though. Shore Crasher Elemental is that triple blue. So 3 devotion blue right there. It's a mythic rare elemental 3/3. Pay 1 blue, exile this guy, then return it to the battlefield face down under its owner's control. Pay 1 colorless as many times as you want. This guy gets +1 +1 -1 or -1 +1 till end of turn. Megamorph of 5. So this is just like Aetherling,
Right.
where you are able to be flexible in a controlling manner. You're able to, if the coast is clear, pump them up twice and make them a 5/1. Or if you need a blocker, you can make them a 1/5 or even less. You can make them a 0/6 or whatever. And he's able to avoid the removal by paying 1 blue and exiling them and putting them face down. So that's unfortunate that it's putting them face down and you have to flip them for 5. But at least he didn't die. And the guy is triple blue, which means that mono blue devotion, someone's going to be trying it again.
Yeah, I heard some rumblings. He's an
Simple as that.
elemental,
Elemental.
so master of waves.
He gets the pump from that automatically. I mean, I see that someone's going to be doing this again. Master Waves is still around, and there are a couple other goodies laying around still, like Thassa, and we'll still have to just see. But this will be in there. It's not legendary, nothing, so it's a great turn 3 drop. You're playing nothing but blue, so it's not hard to cast. And the devotion is pretty crazy on it, so...
Yeah, I think definitely Mono Blue is going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Someone's going to try and make it work, you know?
I see it being it's a very good card. Simple as that. It's not played it won't be played by anybody else than Mono Blue, but it is a very good card.
And also for Mono Blue, which this is, when I saw this card, I thought of my Mono Blue Commander deck I bought. And it's Clone Legion. 7 blue for a mythic sorcery. For each creature target player controls, put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of that creature. No way in fucking hell is this going to be standard playable.
Well, I missed that. The double blue and 6 or whatever it is, or
Double
7?
blue 7.
Yeah.
And
9 mana in blue.
No delve
You get
to it.
put whatever's on their field on your field.
or your field on your field. It's target player.
Yeah.
True that. That's not going to happen. Even with Blue Devotion and being able to get to 9 through that.
Yeah, they don't
You're
wanna do that.
You're not going to want to do that.
Yeah.
You don't care. So ship it. We're done. Gone. There it is.
So you made a comment about the Power Ranger mechanic a minute ago, and I wanted to get into my currently favorite Power Ranger of the set, the Megamorph. What I'm talking about, the sexy, if I might add myself here, Orc Shaman, the Irish Shaman, the female orc
Irish Shaman
there.
or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Irish shaman, man. Hey, man.
That is a beastly pair of tits right there.
It really is, though. It's crazy.
Like, don't fuck with this thing.
Helga.
Oh
movies,
my
dude.
god.
I need to see this card.
That is.
So it's 1 in a red.
I already know.
It's a rare. It's a 2/1.
Pampoovy.
Irish Shaman can't be. It just sounds like Irish Shaman or whatever. Irish Shaman or whatever. Irish Shaman can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. Megamorph for 1. A red. And it says when Irish Shaman is turned face up, exile the top card of your library until end of turn. You may play that card. So for me, I had put a Chandra into my Perforos Tokens deck. Haven't had much chance to play with her. But now since Fate Reforged, and getting the chance to play Outpost Siege, at the moment I have a huge hard-on for the whole draw an extra card, exile it, and play this turn if you so choose. And so to me, at this moment, I'm not a big fan of the Megamorph stuff. This is my favorite one. Getting to exile a card and play it if you so choose. I'm
I
excited
think it's
for
my
that.
favorite one also. I mean,
it's
you put it down face down for 3. You only pay 1 red, and you get a 3/2. Can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures, and it gets you a card.
Yeah.
What is more value than paying 1 mana and getting all that?
that sounds pretty legit to me.
Yeah,
That's
that
actually
is
a
some
card I would want to
crazy
play
value.
with. That's pretty cool.
I don't know about Constructed that much.
I'm not necessarily saying that. I don't know. I'm just saying it's my favorite Mighty Morphin Power Ranger
It's good
so
enough
far.
for Constructed, but I don't know if it's going to be stronger than it might not fit. Like, having to cast it face down for a 2/2 might not fit, but it might. We'll have to just wait and see. But for sure, this card is good. That's simple as that. This card is fucking good. Except for you. You don't like it. Because you have a stipulation on just the Megamorph anyways. You don't even care. No. They could say anything, and you're like, I don't care.
I don't like Megamorph either, but this is my favorite one, and for what it does, I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, I'm a big fan of Battle Brawler. Knife doesn't think Battle Brawler is very good himself. I think that card is pretty fucking good. For 2 mana, you get a 3/2 first striker if you have a red or a white permanent on the field.
That thing's boss.
That thing is badass. So
in the right deck, thing is boss, dude. It's like one of my most powerful warriors in my deck.
I think the Shaman will make it in limited, but I think in constructed, you're just going to be... I see this like as a creature in the burn deck, because you want to flip up that card and be able to play it and burn them.
That's what I'm getting at. Really.
So, but even then, I think you just want another burn spell in this place.
I think it'll find its home, but it might not be a deck that you'll see in a tournament. But I still think it's super powerful.
I think it'd be fun to play with. I'm not trying to say it's going to end up in a tier 1 deck.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's my favorite Power Ranger card, and I think it actually can be pretty fucking good.
Okay. What about this guy? Dragon Lord Atarka. 5 red and green. So it's 7 mana, but luckily it's in the right colors for that. Because the other shit that's in the dragon stuff, like, if it's 7 mana, it's like good luck. I don't think so. So this guy is an 8/8. So triggers the what's the new mechanic called? The Formidable. Triggers that by itself. Flying Trample. Enters the battlefield, does 5 damage divided as you choose among creatures or planeswalkers your opponents control. I'm not saying that this is the beast of all dragons, but for 7 mana, you could do worse. I think it's in the right colors, and I think that this could be a 1 or 2 of in the right strategy. And I mean, it wrecks face without having to attack. Hopefully, it can attack for 8 and then have trample, so you can't stop it. That would be sweet. I mean, if it gets killed, okay, fine, but you're able to do 5 damage to target creatures and planeswalkers. I think that is a relevant ability. Enter the battlefield, no other interaction needed. So I already know that I'm going to be putting this as a 1 of right now into the dragon deck I am building.
I think
because I'm doing red green. So
1,000 times better than the first card that was spoiled for for dragons, which is Deathbringer Regent. They're 2 black and 5. Like, that card's piece of shit.
It's also in the wrong colors. Like, you're not going to get to that.
Exactly. So and it's such a stipulation. Like, there has to be 5 other creatures for it to have any other effect on the field other than being a 5/6. When you're talking about actually, if you actually get there, you get to burn for 5, divide as you choose. That's pretty good. Again, that's pretty high costed. But for what it is, that's at least a legitimate entering the battlefield effect for that price.
Yeah. You have any thoughts, Knife? Don't care. Big dragon.
I like that one. That one's good, but it's just like the rest of the dragons. If you can get there, it's going to have a profound effect on the game, limited wise. And if you really want to try and force it, it'll make it in constructed.
You're gonna watch and see. You're gonna check it out. Here's another one.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say,
my turn.
This is more. I'm thinking. I'm kind of thinking more modern play.
Don't you say the one I'm gonna say.
Collected Company?
No.
Okay. Collected Company. 3 and a green. Instant. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. Put up to 2 creature cards with converted mana cost 3 or less from among them on the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order.
Dude, tiny leaders.
No, it can't. It's 4 mana cost.
No, but 3.
But it is a Tarmogoyf.
That's true.
That's just that you can instant speed on blocks or whatever. Like, hopefully you hit. It's you hit instant? Card. It's an instant, though. It's an instant in green that finds you shit. Like, this is kind of weird. It's kind of a sweet card. I'm thinking, limited play, duh. I don't know what other things you want to find in constructed necessarily, because you're going to find, mana dorks and
dude, Hornet's Nest.
Hornet's Nest could be one of them for a
sexy
trick
bitch.
blocker.
Jesus.
So something like that maybe, or at least maybe if you even you scryed and you know what's on top,
right?
And you're able to flash in a creature that you know is going to happen with that. And I think that this card is pretty. I don't know how it's going to work, but it seems like the text seems pretty broken to think that you at instant speed in green you're able to bring out 2 creatures.
Yeah, I think
that should be sorcery, and it's not, and that just makes it that much better.
I think in modern, it might see some play out. Then again, we're not modern experts, but I mean,
The reason I say modern is because modern has all the powerful 3 mana or less stuff.
Yeah.
That's the reason I say it. Because constructed, I just feel like playing green. Like, what are you going to pull in green that's 3 mana or less?
Yeah, right now what Green's trying to do is get to fucking Ugin. They're not worried about getting more.
Pretty much. Something like that, you know. You're looking for Hornet Queen, they're looking for Genesis Hydra, they're looking for whatever. So, like, this stuff, like, not for standard, I
see
don't think.
shenanigans happening with it, though.
I do
It's
see
definitely like a red dog ear that card for shenanigans because somebody's going to find something nutty to do with it besides the stupid Hornet.
I also don't think it's going to be expensive, so that's going to be cool,
Nest.
Hornet Nest, that's what I meant.
Yeah, so I like that card, though.
I don't know. I disagree with you guys. I think it's a piece of shit.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, even I think especially standard and whatnot. I mean, yeah, there's some things you can do with it. There's but I just don't think it's at a 4-costed spell. Like that's what you want to do with your 4-cost spot.
Well, it's more like if you have the mana open for like Abrupt Decay and all the other stuff you're going to be playing in Modern, then instead you can do something like this and hope you hit at the end step or something like that. That's really what I'm thinking. You want to leave mana open still.
But even from there, to go into Modern, you're telling me that there's not better 4-costed mana cards than this to play at that point? I don't see it happening, man. It's too if and or this or that. I mean, it's not good enough for the complete raffle, 6 cards, hope I get something good.
Well, okay, how about this? What if you do this into Snapcaster Mage? Something like that, too. There's like other cards that can happen besides like just big old baddies like Tarmogoyf, whatever. There's other, even like, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of other cards, but there's got to be other cards in like these formats that like you hit them and you're like, oh, fuck yeah, I hit that card. You're able to dig 6 deep. And instead of just drawing your cards.
I hear what you're saying with the whole almost Christmas land thing of like you hit this awesome card, but is that really going to take over a spot of something else that costs 4 mana? And green, are you going to take out a freaking Siege Rhino to play this?
Well, I mean, there's not a lot of 3 mana or 4 mana or higher cards in Modern. I mean, like Siege Rhino is a new edition, but like
I understand that was an obvious freaking comment of a choice. I'm just saying I just don't see this card doing it. I mean,
we will talk. We will talk soon.
Okay, we will. I watched like Patrick and Cedric talk about this, and Cedric was saying the same things you are, where he's like from Star City Games, obviously Patrick and Cedric, Basic Mountain, and those guys. And Cedric was kind of excited about how you are saying these kind of Christmas Landy awesome things, and then Patrick was saying my side of things where. It's just too much of a risk. It's too much of like how many times are you going to hit 0? How many times are you actually going to hit 2 creatures? How many times you maybe hit 1? It's just kind of it's too much of a risk at that high of a cost.
Fair enough.
I
understand your argument. I understand.
You definitely have to build a deck that centers around it. You know what I mean? It's not just like throw it in any green deck.
Well, of course.
You have to build towards it.
Especially talking about Modern, everything is calculated, which is why I don't think this is good enough in the calculated situation of that to actually build a deck around things like that.
That's fair. I do like it, though, a lot. I like it digging, and I think that it'll hit a lot of things under the right format. Like you said, like you can't play creatures that are more than 3 mana cost then in this deck, because like if you hit a creature that you want and has to go to the bottom of the library, you're like, oh, that fucking sucked. I had 4 mana to pay for it, but now it's at the bottom of the library.
Yeah, instead of, you had 4 mana then, the next card's a Siege Rhino, all of a sudden that's at the bottom of your library, you're fucked.
Yeah, but otherwise, I think it finds a place in Modern. You do not agree, but I do, so I agree with myself.
So let's go ahead and bring it back to this card I was trying to talk about. Anafenza, Kin Tree Spirit for a white and a white.
Standard playable.
For a 2/2 legendary spirit soldier.
Standard playable.
Standard playable. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, bolster 1.
That's pretty sick.
Thoughts? Feelings?
Standard playable.
Boners?
Anafenza, standard playable. It's hard to cast at 3 mana, and you have to attack with it, which may not be profitable.
You mean the previous?
Yeah, the previous one, to get a counter on something. So, like, it's tough. It's a pain in the ass.
Right.
And the other thing about the exiling creature cards, like, I don't really see it being that relevant a lot of times. It is relevant sometimes, but I don't really care about it too much. But I think that this thing once again, it happens with no interaction except for a creature entering the battlefield, which is going to happen because you're playing Magic. So it is going to have something's going to get a 1/1 counter every fucking time, and at the low cost of 2 mana, I just don't see this being a bad card in any way. I think it's great. It's not a warrior.
Not a warrior.
That sucks because I'd totally throw it in to the Warriors deck, But
Yeah, I think it'd be too busted if it was a warrior.
it'd probably be too busted as a warrior, right? So, but I think that it'll have a lot of fun in limited because everything's like has a lot of counters and this gets flying and this gets whatever and
Right.
and the other bolster stuff from Fate and all that fun. It's gonna be fun in limited and you'll play it right away. But I don't know. I think it's just a great card. I mean, you can't ask for much better for 2 mana. I think. What do you guys think, Crow? Anything?
I think I do agree. It's definitely a solid card. I mean we've all watched and seen how much they've tried to push this whole counter strategy through this whole situation since cons, and we've all seen that it's a piece of shit, kind of a deal. All this 80 creature gets death touch, it has a counter on it. In theory, sounds good. It's not a real thing though. This doesn't have to necessarily have that at all. It just has the extra bonuses of you play another creature, you get to bolster something. I mean that's pretty good.
It is. I think it's real good.
I think you can do a lot worse for a turn 2 card.
Yeah. For that 4 mana flyer, it gets +1/+1 for each other creature with a counter on it.
Like I said, there's definitely a counter strategy out there that, in theory, sound great. It's kind of like slivers. Oh, every creature that's a sliver gets all these other bonuses off of it. It just hasn't happened.
Don't you even dare throw slivers into this conversation.
But my point being is, people, common folk, whatever, play slivers, and it's just whatever. The simple-minded peppermint swirls, I'm getting that. But the counter strategy hasn't been a real thing. This itself, though, without having to worry about playing with other cards,
not even a counter strategy. It's just,
that's what I'm getting at. It's just I feel like they made this card how it is for that counter strategy they've been pushing on us. But even without playing around the counter strategy, this is just a good card.
Yeah, I think it's just a good card.
What this card screams to me is White Weenie.
Yeah,
that's what it says. Maximum mana cost 3, so you top it out with the Kitty King.
Brimaz, King of Arrest, because I've been having a hard time with that too.
I can never
recently.
remember his fucking name.
That
Brimaz.
guy, they have that new one also that came out. I don't even know where the hell it's at. It's 3 mana, it's 1 and 2 white, and it's a 2/2 with double strike, and when it enters the battlefield, it gives something else double strike also.
Really?
And so it'll trigger bolster on this guy and give something double strike. So you're already going from a 2/2. So you can play this on turn 2, and then on turn 3, that thing is a 3/3 because that got bolstered, and then it is now attacking for 6 on turn 3. So in a White Weenie strategy, like you're attacking for 6, turn 3, that is fucking sweet. And then something else comes in. Now your double strike guy is going to get the counter, so now it's a 3/3 with double strike. And then you probably have Defiant Strike. You probably have other things to pump, or maybe play it alongside with red for Temur Battle Rage or something like that. There's other ways to get this engine really going and beaten down really fast.
Put in that fucking 1 mana 2/1 that has protection from multicolored.
Soldier of the Pantheon.
Soldier of the Pantheon.
Soldier of the Pantheon, baby.
He's a fucking 3/2.
Fucking love Soldier of the Pantheon.
I mean, with that strategy, you're super susceptible to Anger of the Gods, so I think a White Weenie strategy isn't particularly viable right now, but I think this card opens it up to have people try and fuck around with it.
I feel like the White Weenie strategy at the moment would be the Warrior strategy.
Right. So there's no mono white weenie strategy. But yeah, I think, like you were saying, if this was Warrior, it'd fit right into that deck, and it would fuck shit up, but unfortunately it doesn't, and I think with the decks that are out there right now, the double white cost is kind of prohibitive, because you want this on turn 2.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want this late game. You don't want this turn 4, because on their turn 5, they'll just crux. You want this on turn 2 so you can get the maximum benefit from it.
So I agree, it is a bummer it's not a Warrior, but it's still, I think it's slot into that Warrior strategy in that sense that they're already bonusing off of each other for the scales and the shields. Well, now you get to bolster them up higher for all the creatures you're popping down with it. I'm just saying I understand it's not a Warrior itself. I just think it could slot into that strategy.
It could fit into it. I just think the double white's really a bummer.
So I don't know if we talked about it last time. I think we did. But I know that this card's one of the most expensive in the set right now, besides the Planeswalkers, is the Ojutai's Exemplars. We talked about it last time.
Yeah, we talked about it last time.
But I still think, I'm wondering what that's going to do. It's good, but I'm not sure where a 4-mana 4/4 in white is going to fit. Even though it, reads awesome text, I just don't know what the fuck.
Isn't it going to be the top end of the Monastery Mentor sort of.
I mean, I think so because it fits in that style, but like I just don't know. It's just an interesting card, and I hope it fits that in along with that, just fine. I know you're playing a lot of non-creature stuff, and then it gets pumped, and every time you cast a spell, which you'll cast hopefully 2 that turn, and then the Jeskai Ascendancy will go off or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say like Jeskai Burn,
Yeah.
or that sort of Monastery Mentor, Grand Funk Master sort of. Dude, I can't remember any of the real names. I just remember like the stupid names people come up with.
Soulfire Grandmaster.
There we go.
Soulfire Grandmaster.
I can't say it either.
So,
Grand Funk Railroad.
I feel like that deck that you guys were talking about that I brewed,
the burn.
Yeah, 4 of each of those, and then just burn. You throw the Exemplar in there, and then burn, and then you're fucking good to go.
Yeah.
So that way you can flood the board with more dudes, you're gaining life, and what are the modes on the Exemplar?
When you cast a non-creature spell, choose one. Tap target creature. This guy gains first strike and lifelink until end of turn, or exile this guy, then return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. So a bounce spell to avoid removal.
Yeah.
I think it reads great. I guess that's the only home then, probably, is just that.
So for the Grand Funk and the Money Mentor, and then 2 of these guys, and then burn.
Yeah.
I think that's a good deck.
That's pretty good.
We should brew that sometime when it comes out. Have another little live cast brewing session. Because the last one, I mean, I kind of fucking eat my words. That deck
The
worked
deck
out.
is also pretty fucking strong.
Well, my Purpose deck, I'm pretty happy with it.
I mean,
man. It's
we
pretty
didn't hear
fun.
any like listener feedback if they liked it, but I mean, I think the deck turned out pretty fucking well.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk to you guys. I wish it wasn't a rare. I can kind of see because the options it gives what is a rare, but Crater Elemental. It's a red and 2.
Weird, bro. I think it's super
Creature
weird.
elemental. It's kind of strange. Yeah, it's an 06, and it has pay red and tap. Sacrifice Crater Elemental. Crater Elemental deals 4 damage to target creature. It also has Formidable, and it has a red and 2. Crater Elemental has base power 8 until end of turn. Activate this ability only if creatures you control have total power of 8 or greater.
I don't know what to tell you with this one. This one is like so weird. I mean, like limited, especially because big ass blocker turns into an 8/6 that like might be able to be a huge deal as far as like also probably a blocker also. Honestly, an 8/6 for blocker is probably better than the attacker because it's just gonna get chumped anyways. And then
at the very least, it becomes a good removal spell against some creature you don't want to face, some fucked up dragon you're going against.
Yeah, I think that it's just a removal. I mean, a limited superstar, but like I don't know anything about this card. I can't even put my finger on it. Where the fuck else is gonna go?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's some super fantastical kind of deal, but I don't know, for what it is, because it is so different, I think it's kind of cool. I mean, it's literally
cool. And
a
you're
topsy-turvy mountain of lava ready to fall on people. It's
true.
kind of a cool card, I think.
Is this a rare, though? Like you said, it's like, is it a rare? It's so fucking weird.
There's so many things to it, it's why, and the fact that you can pay 1 red and get rid of it, and it's a Stoke the Flames minus the player, obviously.
Yeah, you probably can't make an 8/6 you probably can't make that a uncommon card, but still, like this is a fucking strange one.
It's very strange. I mean, that's why I'm on the edge of. I kind of like it for what it is because it's so different. I know it's not something you're actually really going to plan on brewing with unless Knife decides to try to make it put into his mill deck there.
I'm not playing red though, right?
No, probably not, but he hasn't built it. I doubt that as well. But I just kind of it's a strange. If you play a red-green deck and limited or something like that, and you get that enchantment that they hit for their toughness power.
Yeah.
Then it's a 6/6, and then has the extra shit too. I mean, it's a very strange card. I know by no means is it fantastic. I just kind of find it interesting.
I'll play it limited every time as long as I'm going red. Like no question.
That's what I agree too. I think it's worthy enough for limited.
Yeah, I can only imagine
a crazy card.
The opponent like attacking in or whatever and be like, oh, I have Formidable, and then you do it and they're like, what the fuck does that card say? 8/6? There's no fucking 8/6 in limited. Fuck you. So I have nothing else. I mean, I pretty much tapped on everything.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about.
There's one more I had on my list right now. It is Dragon Whisperer. It is a mythic rare in red.
Oh yeah, that's another weird one.
Double red. It's a 2/2, and it has a pay 1 red. Dragon Whisperer gains flying until end of turn, and it also has pay a red and 1. Dragon Whisperer gets +1 until end of turn, so it's fire breathing plus the 1 on it. And it has Formidable for double red and 4. Put a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Activate its ability only if you have creatures control power 8 or greater. I think that's a pretty good card, personally. For what it is, it has so many extra things to it. I don't know that it's mythic, but there's so many things on there that it has. The fire breathing, making it flying. You know, you're turning a human shaman is basically turning himself into a dragon, kind of a deal.
I wish the fire breathing was one less. I wish it was rare.
That would make it mythic to me.
I think that'd be a playable card then. Then attacking for like 4 on turn 3.
Mm-hmm.
Enemy plays on turn 2, and then attacking for 4. You get to pump it twice, make it a 4/4 or 4/2, and then give it 1 for flying, and then you're going to hit with a 4/2. I think then, like, hell yes. But the fire breathing is my biggest problem with this card, is that it just costs that. Just like same thing with like the fucking 2/1, the one that does damage to itself. I talked about it last cast, and I forgot the name of it again.
Fire Drinker Saber.
Fire Drinker Saber, you know. Like, once again, it's like 2 to pump it, and I'm like, oh my god, you're playing mono red anyways. Why is it even red in a colorless? Like, just fucking make it double red. Who cares?
See, I agree.
Red,
I think for because of that right there, it should just be a rare. And if it was just 1 for that fire breathing, then I can see them trying to push this as a mythic, because you can make it go flying over where else they have at that low ground beginning and pump it up and just fly at their face, and then late game you can make dragons every turn is on the field.
I think it's weird that it's double red, because Formidable is a very like green or green-red thing, and so this is double red.
It's not very. That's the new brood.
Yeah. But I mean, like, so it's double red, so you're gonna want to like put this in like a mono red sort of fast or burn deck.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's like a mono red.
But you'll never be able to hit that Formidable in that.
Yeah, not unless you have a million fucking 1/1s on the board from heroically targeting your Crusader dude. So
my token deck, my first deck, all the time I get 10 fucking tokens on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
you should play with this card then, because that might be more like a fit. Because this card is weird, man. This card is weird.
Honestly that's what I'm looking at. Like, not necessarily, I don't know if I can fit it in that first deck, if it's good enough, but because of the extra bonuses it has and everything to it, it's like there's so many options that it can do that I want to play around with it personally.
Yeah.
For my Perforos deck.
I guess the best thing to say is that if it is a late game guard too, like if you draw it late game, you're like, oh sweet, it's 2 mana 2/2 that I can like do all kinds of fun things with. That's fine.
Yeah.
So I like that, but
just the versatility of it is what catches my eye. All the different options there, everything to it.
It kind of reminds me of what's that fucking guy? The green guy, the 1 mana green guy, the mythic rare from the last set.
Warden of the First Tree.
Reminds me of that a little bit, where it's just like starts off small and then like hopefully you get there, but you never do. You know, I might every 20 games, and it's like, oh my god, this thing is a superstar. I'm making dragons and I'm flying over and hitting them for 3 and 4 in the air and all this stuff. But like otherwise, it's like a 2/2 that you're gonna have to like spend that mana to pump out more creatures anyways, and so you're not gonna be able to use it. And then late game, yeah, it is, but like you better have that board like set the fuck up and like ready to like put 6 mana into a dragon rather than like cast some good shit from your hand. It seems tough, man.
I hear you.
But yeah,
and I agree. I don't think it's super fantastical, and I really do agree with you that I really wish the fire breathing was just 1 red, because that to me would make it everything. Then it's fantastic to me. Because the Formidable, obviously, we're talking about it's more of like a Christmas land. You can't depend on that part of being what the card does.
And even still, like on turn 3 with a red deck, if it was 1 red, do you want to be attacking with a 4/2 flyer in the air, or do you want to be bringing out more cards out of your hand and going wide? You're probably going to want to get the cards out of your hand. Like, that's just like the way it's played usually. Mm-hmm. So, and for you to do that, and the toughness is still at 2, you're coming at them, and they're like, that's cool, I'm just going to go ahead and do whatever spell does 2 damage or more, you know, like a million things. So, or they fire breathe it, and now all of a sudden it turns on Abzan Charm, you know, or any of that kind of shit. So, I don't know. It's a weird card, man. But anything else? No, probably not.
But I think
it's getting late, goddamn.
Yeah, I'm ready to actually play some fucking Magic instead of talking about it.
Yeah, no shit.
So that's been it for episode 30. We're over the hill.
Is over the hill 30? I don't think it
40.
is. I think
40?
It's 40.
We're like
over the prairie. We're over
like the first hump of the hill.
Yeah.
We're in that little plateau.
Over the anthill.
We're breathing a little heavy.
Yeah.
You know?
Over the anthill.
Yeah, we're still getting there.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for listening in. Please go ahead and check us out on all the wonderful things like Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff, YouTube. We were putting out versus videos every Wednesday. Unfortunately, we ran into some technical difficulties, and all of our videos that were stored up got eaten.
Yeah, memory card was corrupted
We
when I
missed
put it
this
in.
Wednesday, but
We'll get it.
back soon.
We'll get it going.
Yep, so go ahead and look for some Tiny Leaders videos and some Standard Brews and all that fun stuff.
My Villainous Wealth ramp deck will be on there sometime soon.
Oh,
A
yeah.
little more tweaked.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So thanks for tuning in. I'm Knifecity,
So and Crow.
Hot sauce.
Peppermint swirl.
and we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Give us some fucking feedback.
Well, speaking of offending people,
Damn it. Welcome to
I think I'm gonna do the intro this week.
yeah,
You got a rap set up?
Just a super epic announcer voice. You do it knife, crow, sauce. That's the
and special guest.
Special
Yeah.
guest. Sweezy.
and new permanent member to the podcast.
Oh, God. You got me nervous when you said that.
Oh, what is wrong?
Oh, it's so quick and sweet.
And welcome.
all right, welcome to another episode of If Lands Could Kill. I'm Knifecity.
So and Crow.
Hot sauce.
Peppermint swirl.
Special guest.
Permanent guest.
Special guest.
Oh man,
He's been on it enough.
this guy is like lice. You just can't get rid of him. He just keeps coming back.
And you're bold. How'd you stick on to you?
Well, I like to rub my genitals on small children's heads.
Oh my God. What's happening?
Where did that come from? Who gets lice besides like middle schoolers?
You're
When was
just
the last-
you lost it there, dude.
When was the last time you met an adult that had lice?
When I met Hot Sauce.
I don't know any adults.
Okay.